going on, everybody?
Oh,
Yeah, John snacking on something down there. Eating down there.
edibles.
Edibles, probably. A fat bomb. Dig it. Hell no, what's going on, brother?
What up, buddy?
Yes, Flat Guts in the house. Shadowhawk's back's over on topic list, but good to see you here. Good to see you. Sumo Thori and Paul. Welcome, guys. Well, we're going to have a fun show tonight, and thanks for everybody that joined us last week for the Michael Turner stream. That was really, really fun. Very inspiring stream, talking to Dan about Michael and just the kind of person he was, and then obviously his amazing career. It was good times. That ballistic run, I will say it again. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out now. But we're going to take a look at one of the superstars of the 90s when it came to Image Comics, especially after he came over from Marvel. Motherfucking Stephen Platt.
Beast.
Absolute beast. There we go.
Excited.
Yeah, this is going to be good. We're going to start with the Moon Knight run because I know a lot of people probably know him from Prophet and Soul Saga, and then maybe the stuff he did later on, covers for Marvel, all that kind of stuff. But he got his major start with Moon Knight, and he came onto this title very kind of McFarlane-esque and just tore it up. So we're going to look at some fantastic, fun 90s art, and here we go. So we got Moon Knight number 55, which I think was his first issue, and I think he did the last 5 issues of Moon Knight. And first off, this cover is one of my favorite all-time covers. I mean, the rips, the shreds, the energy, the pose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of energy in the early work.
Yeah, so much more than like later on when he kind of refined. And we'll get to some of the later work when he tweaked his stuff a little bit. But this early stuff, raw as hell. But man, just look at that. Love it. Inspiring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything's in motion. Even the tears. I mean, they're a foot long.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what I loved about it, man. The over-exaggeration was so
that's
well
why
done.
he stood out for sure.
That was an awesome perspective shot right there, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right off the bat. And I don't know what he did before he did Moon Knight. I don't know if he did fill-in issues. I'm not sure because this is as far back as I've tracked him.
He actually did a Moon Knight sample. It was supposed to be for like Marvel Comics Presents, but it never got published. He went straight into this.
Oh, really?
I think Dan has copies of those.
Nice. Well, again, just like Michael Turner, for someone's first time out, he did a fantastic job on this. And you'll see the things that he changes throughout his career. He's kind of very bulky, a little out of proportion with stuff with these characters. Somewhat cartoony in areas, like I said, a little bit McFarlane-esque. But energy and badassery is what it was all about.
Yeah, I'd say McFarlane, maybe Protasio. I think definitely Protasio ended up kind of getting in when that, just like the Dale Keown, kind of that double rendering style started happening.
Yeah.
But he gets some of these big, like incredibly thick figures. So and he has that little butt sticking out on that cop there. Like Protasio did a lot of butt sticking out stuff too. So
that's a great point. What's going on, Jeremy? Good to see you.
Well, brother.
Yeah, that was one thing about Steven's early work, man. I mean, the thighs on his characters were like tree trunks. Insane, but they looked awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how they could walk in real life, but it doesn't matter because it's.
But they could stand really cool.
Exactly, they could look badass, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, and there's the McFarlane, like, if you can't tell by the 30-foot cape, like. So yeah, I mean, he just really looks like a guy that pulled, that kind of, and a bit of Jim Lee probably in there too. He was just able to merge those kind of 3 styles pretty well.
He was a really good substitute when all those guys left to form Image and Marvel's getting new talent, putting stuff on books. A lot of stuff they had artists kind of emulating a little bit of the guys that left, but his art definitely complemented what they were doing and kind of filled the gap for sure, which is probably why it didn't last too long at Marvel. I mean, Image, Rob saw him and snatched him up as soon as he could.
Yeah, there was nobody left at Marvel that could keep my interest. The moment Image formed and my guys were gone, I went over there.
Yeah, there was a few guys that I would still pay attention to, but all the best artists were at Image. Even the young guys coming up, they were still miles ahead, I thought, of everybody else in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I still loved the Kuberts and Capullo when he was over there, but you just couldn't touch stuff like Platt and Campbell and Turner and Booth. And these are the second wave of guys, not to mention the legends that were starting the business over there. Yeah, so this is there's some Wolverine hair right there. Has some hairy texture.
Yeah, like you'll see later on, like here, I don't know, you kind of run it all to exaggeration, but like that dude's head is like it's not. It's worked very hard to make it look like it's still connected to the body. So,
yeah.
Later on, he tightens a lot of that up, but some of the exaggerations still kind of seep through in his art. But yeah, I mean, it's on one hand, it's that head is so far forward and the back is so far back. I mean, it's that exaggeration that you get a little bit of that energy from.
Yeah.
I definitely like to see the torso more in the tilt or whatnot. But again, for a guy for his first outing here, he's really rocking and rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have no idea how old he was when he did this. With the inker.
Is he okay? I was gonna say, is he inking
Chris
himself
Ivy,
on this? Okay.
And Alve and Scott Koblish or something. I have to say that the inkers did him a pretty good job, pretty justice with his style. I mean, even when he starts inking himself, it's
Really
not
Joe
too
Mad?
much. Yeah, not too much crazy from what he's doing now.
I think it's great that, like, if you flip back to that ad real quick.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at this.
Yeah, like that's like good. That's comic art from kind of that time. Like as I remember when I left, like the Marvel to go over to Image. Like these were kind of the fill-in guy looking styles right here. But you look at what Stephen Platt was doing. And it makes these guys look like they're a 1980s cartoon.
It's good.
Like the amount of detail and style just being slung around. He should have been illegal.
Madureira.
Yeah, Joe Mad. Yeah, he was terrible.
Shit.
Yeah, he was terrible.
That's crazy. I did not recognize it at all.
Yeah, he was no good until he came over for was it Battle Chasers? Like I remember people would talk about Joe Mad, I poked my head, into an X-Men book, whatever, back in the 90s, and I just went, ugh. Ugh. Like you, sir, are no Jim Lee. You're no Whilce Portacio, but you look what Steve Platt was doing here, and he wasn't those guys either, but he had style.
Mm-hmm.
He may not draw as well as everybody else, but he can put the speed lines in and keep everything feeling like it's in motion and power. I mean, these guys are, brick fucking houses.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Kind of remind me of that cartoon that was out around that time. Cops.
Oh, I remember that.
I got that right there.
They're all fucking jacked. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Shit, I completely forgot about that. I used to watch it all the time. Smokey the Concat. I said that backwards. I have some of those Pizza Hut X-Men mini comics. I had one of those. I don't know what I did with it, but I remember when I got them, I thought they were cool until I read them, and then I was like, yeah, these are cool. This is what I like. But I love this throwing motion here. Again, like you said, with the head attached to the body is a little weird, but I just love the pose. A lot of energy.
And where it's coming, it almost looks like he's shooting a penis out,
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's something you want to be careful of too, because that motion, it doesn't really work like that unless I'm missing something. He's not reflecting anything, right? He's not swatting that back towards anybody. That is a projectile coming from him, correct?
Yeah, he's kind of like throwing it across his body like
Yeah,
that.
but you
So,
establish that motion line, but that thing doesn't, like, it actually takes off away from the motion because his hand is flying backwards. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's
Yeah,
actually
technically
going.
it'd probably
It's going
flying up.
so you're throwing it this way, but the item is actually going this way.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
What's going on, Shadowhawk?
Hold up,
Back.
Shadowhawk.
Yeah, it's kind of like the old. I don't know if you call it a trope or not, but Jim Lee used to do this a lot too, where you'd have a scene where you have somebody punching this way,
Mhm.
and then you'd have the guy that's getting hit head turn the complete opposite of where the punch is. But he would do that to try to feel like it was a powerful enough punch to like kind of flip the guy around, but it looked completely opposite, because the fist would be going this way and the head would be turned that way. So I don't know if he was trying to do it for motion, but yeah, you're right. It's looks kind of funky, but the
Interesting.
pose is great. Love the pose.
Mm-hmm.
Vertical panels, John's favorite.
I love them. Yeah, I've been doing vertical panels lately. I love them.
It's a gambit throw. Yeah, kind of, yeah. I think Lee did some of that with gambit too.
Yeah, but
Good
the
point.
thing is like they'll still do the motion, but I don't believe a lot of the times, like when the cards are flinging out of that ring, they're not exactly going the opposite direction from where they're going. So if the swing is going that way, they're not flinging out to the camera like that.
Yeah.
Like Jim would do more like it's coming, like your motion is like that, and they'd still do this kind of it's shooting out, which is kind of ridiculous, but everything should go with the motion of your arm, or you're retarded. So let's just say Jim Lee and Stephen Platt were fucking retarded.
Awesome 90s moon. I always love those crazy craters in there that just, but it looked cool.
Bigger
Yeah.
and better.
Very McFarlane-esque buildings there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good trick, good trope.
Yeah, I love moons, man. Love to detail them out still, and it's because McFarlane and then Platt, like you think that Prophet cover.
Oh yeah,
I think it was a Prophet cover, right? Big giant moon.
Mhm.
Yep. It's
Yeah, so-
7, I think. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
That's amazing moon. Here again, we're talking about like what we talk about with the cover. When he had an opportunity to just go insane with the shreds and just, so much energy in this right here.
Yeah, that's incredible. Looks
Yeah,
great.
That's just badass. Love the underlining. Yeah, very good inks. Like I gotta say, like the people that inked him on this book did a pretty damn good job.
Yeah, it looks like it.
He was put with a good team. Moon Knight 56. I don't know if it's the same inkers or not. Kind of looks like a little bit slight. Colors a little brighter. Something looks a little different. I'll say
Could
that.
be.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to make a deadline on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
Yep.
Put Sean and Malin to work packing the ash cans. Maybe if they're in the same room with me, I would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. There's a a different inker. No, okay, so it's just one of them instead of all three of them. It's the Scott Koblish.
Well, that guy dropped the ball.
Yeah,
Might have been Platt that dropped the ball.
that's a good
Platt
point.
might have went in really strong on that first issue, and then he just couldn't do it for this one.
Yeah, there's a
I mean,
noticeable difference.
All that detail takes a lot of time.
Mhm.
And if an inker would drop that much detail, even on deadline, I'd fire him.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'd be one thing if I was drawing a lot looser and dropping the detail out, but if somebody wasn't inking over me,
Mm-hmm.
the right, yeah.
If I'm spending an hour on the page and you're not going to spend an extra 10 minutes to, accommodate all the extra work I do, fuck you.
yeah,
So I believe it's Stephen Platt, because that would be a very rare occurrence, and that inker would be gone.
yeah, everything about this is a lot. I mean, it's the underline is still there, but yeah, a lot of the details gone. A lot more hard blacks.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of cross hatching and rendering out of shadows. Thanks, God, I can't talk to that. Thank you, Shadow Hawkbacks. Yeah, the ash cans came out great, guys. I can't wait to get them out to you. Very excited.
I'll let you know because I'll be the first one getting mine.
That's right. That's right. Tentacle Pentacle. Welcome to the show, brother. Yeah, it's kind of a. I'll say that.
It's
coming
cool.
off that first issue.
But
this is kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
I'm sure if I was in that headset still back.
Oh, look at that woman getting what she deserves.
Back when you knew how to treat a woman.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's how you backhand.
Yeah. See, now that's correct. That's correct motion there. You see, the head does look like it's going in the direction that the swing would have pushed it towards. That's great.
Very well. Very good job, Steven.
Very well
Good job on
established.
that one. Everything else in this, might have rushed through, but that was the good job.
Still a lot cooler than most of the shit at Marvel stands at that time.
Oh yeah. That's
At
still
this
cool.
time.
Well, that's a fact.
Yeah, nowadays too.
So
all
much fucking
around.
lazy garbage out there now.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll cruise that. Okay, here is the McFarlane influence and swipes you're gonna see. Although some of the swipes he does, I think, is more of like a homage or an homage kind of to McFarlane than it is.
Yeah, that's kind of the 300 cover there or something. Or was that what it was? 300 cover.
Yep, that's kind of like the 300 cover. There's some other stuff you're gonna see in here, which I can't remember exactly. I don't have references, but
see, that makes me think he was like saying to an editor somewhere, "Hey, put me on Spider-Man." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure if he would have done a great Spider-Man though, because like I think he would be a jacked Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I think he would look like McFarlane, but thicker, even thicker than McFarlane would draw.
Yeah, like a Hulk.
Yeah.
Bell Rock. This was done in '93. This run was done in '93. And then right after this, he would jump to Extreme Studios and do some amazing work on Prophet that we're going to get to. But I wanted to cover some of his early years because I love seeing the maturation process.
The what?
Of it. Maturation process.
What is that?
Maturation? You don't know what that?
I've asked twice.
Maturing.
Maturing.
Oh, okay. Because you said that. Sounds
but
kind of
it
dirty.
sounds better with No, I can't even say it right.
See, you didn't say it right the first time, but
whatever, dude.
I digress.
Whatever, right? I'm pretty sure if you go look at one of the X-Men issues, that this is also a swipe.
I think most of the book is a swipe when you
Really?
get into it.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily know if it's in a bad way, but again, it could have been showing some respect to the guys that came before you. But I'm pretty sure that there's a scene in some of those early X-Men issues where Jean is in a similar position.
Oh, on that floor, like on.
Kind of this all fours touching her head because of a impact that she suffered or some shit.
All right. She's a slut. Yeah, see, look at Thor. Yeah, he should have been on an Avengers book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is jacked. Man.
Archangel looks pretty fucking cool there. Yeah, Spider-Man's way too thick. Look at the hindquarters on Spider-Man.
That's a big booty.
Yeah, it's like the big fat guy ass or something.
A big old fat guy.
Mm-hmm. Big old fat guy.
The saturation
Sue Storm looks pretty cool there.
Oh yeah, this is when they had her in their slutty.
Is that a boob window on the floor?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you remember when they did that?
No, I was gone.
Oh man.
Oh, okay, yeah. It was right around this time after the Image guys left. They were trying to rebrand some of the characters, redesign some of their costumes. So she got an upgrade. This might have been the same time the Thing was wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Because Wolverine
slashed him.
Yeah, slashed him across the face. So he wore this like helmet for a while.
The Thing wore a helmet, or
yeah, the Thing wore a helmet because he got like slashed by Wolverine, and it I don't know.
Yeah, I skipped all that.
Yeah. I just remember because I never collected Fantastic Four. I was never a huge fan of them in general. But I do remember that happening.
Yeah, when Platt showed up on Prophet, that was the first I ever heard of him. I was just like, thank God somebody's coming in here to replace this fucking hack that they got. Dan
Who was
Panosian. It was just
Panosian? Yeah,
god
Panosian was on.
awful.
Yep, that's right. He was on the early issues.
Yeah,
this
look
was
at
something.
Stephen Platt's early work compared to Dan Panosian's early work. Holy
Oh yeah,
shit.
it was night and day when he took over the book. I mean, there was
Terrible.
so much, and we're gonna jump into that here in a second. There was just so much. I mean, the whole nickname is Splat. Once he started doing that like heavy splatter, the ink splatter, I mean, that really took it to a new level. You'd see Steven do this a lot.
Look at the hindquarters on that demon.
Yeah,
it's a
The
taint.
booty.
the taint. You got some asshole right there, just for everybody to see. You got the broken ankles going on. But I dig it. I mean,
This is where my babies are made. Who's that? Mr. Sinister?
I don't know who the hell that is. I don't know.
It's all right. We don't have to spend time on it. It's
Come
not a very
on,
good page. Not a very good page, though.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it looked like I would say he rushed through some of this to get to like stuff like this.
Oh, yeah. Now I'm seeing the Spider-Man swipes. Okay.
Okay. Yep. I was going to say, even stuff like this kind of reminds me of Spider-Man 2 cover. Not with the same handout, but when the lizard's jumping at him from the back and he's turned around.
Oh, it's the same pose. He just
Yeah.
let me move the eye down so it's not as blatant.
And then this same thing, it's very McFarlane.
Yeah.
I mean, you could
Yeah,
find
it is McFarlane.
You can find
That
it.
is like, straight up
Yeah.
McFarlane there.
Yep, straight up swipe. And again, like I said, I don't know if he,
There's
same thing
another,
here.
and another.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
I'm not mad. This is cool shit.
Yeah, I mean, it looks great.
Yeah.
And this is the best McFarlane impersonation you're getting in Marvel when he's off doing Spawn.
It's like, hey, you like that pose from that one issue in Spider-Man? Look, here it is again. And here's another one. And here's another one. Here's another one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure a lot of these you can find, but there's some blatant ones, that one being one of them.
And then that makes me wonder again, is that him feeling the pressure of deadline?
Could be. There's also a part of me, I wonder if Marvel would have been vindictive enough to say, like, hey, we got a guy that kind of resembles McFarlane. We're going to have... Oh, knock that over. We're going to have Spider-Man in this book. Let's go ahead and swipe a bunch of his stuff. I don't know. But it's unmistakable, that's for sure.
I think that was a Rob pose, maybe.
Which one?
The page before. That little guy up top left.
Oh, here.
That looks like a Rob, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And, he could have probably just been very influenced by the guys that came before him. And
You're making a lot of excuses for young Stephen Platt, Joe.
This is like when
No, he was ripping
cheats
people
on you.
off left and right, but he still had some good style.
Yeah. I like to try to give the benefit of the doubt, but you're right. You're right. And this is before the era where, people could call out the swipes as easy as they can now, So, yeah, he probably cheated. He's like, let me just take...
before the internet took off.
This isn't Platt. Throw this away.
That's not Platt.
Yeah.
Fill-in issue.
Yeah. There we go.
Bastards. Murderer. That's not Platt either.
What the fuck? It's wannabe.
Wait, that whole issue is on Platt?
I don't think... Well, maybe.
Looked like it was kind of him, but without the heavy rendering. I'm just saying at a glance. What do the credits say?
Yeah, I think that's all... Fred Hines. Yeah, so he's not in 2 of those issues. I guess I don't remember that. And this is the last one, so
All right.
he must have been way behind the deadline.
Yeah, so he had 2 fill-in issues after that one, after his Swipe-O-Rama.
Yeah.
Let's see if he's able to cover some ground here.
Joe is the Kevin Smith. Everything is great. Whatever, Jasper. Whatever, man.
I think this is him inking himself.
Yep.
So he might have put the time to do that onto this. Ow, fucker.
Yeah. Yeah, that's badass. Fuck, there's a lot going on there. Yeah, this is a little bit more of what you're going to see when you hit Prophet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's probably why. If he put all this detail, he had no time to do 2 issues.
Well, I think he's probably realized real quick that he's not going to be able to maintain a deadline at Marvel. You know, so when Rob came knocking at the door, that was a great escape hatch for him.
Yeah.
You know, because then he, you know, through now experience, he could at least go when he has that that conversation with Rob and say, "Look, man, I just can't do a monthly. You know, so I'm going to need to have however much time I'm going to need, you know, to do these properly." So, you know, so that probably helped him out when he got a hold of Rob. But, you know, sometimes you got to sit down and do the work, know what you can actually handle.
Yeah,
everyone thinks they're fast. Everyone thinks they can do a comic a page a day, and have the most detail. And, you know, they find out very quickly it's not true. You have to have one hell of a, you know, professional level of, I don't know, I guess willpower.
Yeah.
You know, you have to demand it upon yourself to sit down and draw 12 hours, because not every day is that incredible page.
Yeah.
Jim Lee, you know, had a real gift to be able to maintain his, you know, high level of quality. And you know, not everybody can do that.
Yeah, he was really good at that, and he also had the benefit of working with one of the best inkers in the business.
Yeah, Scott Williams. Yeah.
Yeah. So that definitely helped his superstardom. Yeah, look at those thighs. Dude could be a running back.
Yeah. I want to stroke those thighs.
Yeah. Yeah, still though. I mean, as a kid seeing stuff like that, I never took in consideration like the over exaggerated aspect of it. It just looked cool, you know. When you're picking up this book as a 12-year-old or whatever, well, I would have been 11.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's almost like Rob proportions. You know, you look back at Rob's earlier kind of New Mutants level stuff, and, you know, he would draw the long distorted leg, and he'd get itty bitty kneecap, and then, then you get the rest of the leg. I think Protasio also did some Wonder Thighs back in the around that time.
Yeah, you're right. Here's a little thick. Oh, there you go.
That's a great page.
Mm-hmm.
That's some definite like Platt style right there.
Yeah, that's him saying, "All right, I'm out."
Yep.
Where's my Jeep?
Good times.
I'll try to leave people with something to remember me by, but even then, I think that first issue is still better than anything we've seen in any of this stuff.
Yeah, you're right. He killed it on that first issue. A lot of energy, a lot of style. This is kind of, I mean, it's a lot better than what we did see, but no.
Yeah, this is his resume when he went up to Rob. He's like, "Yeah, I'm inking my own work now. Give me that inker's paycheck." Oh, are you inking for Marvel? Yeah. I'm inking. I inked my last issue.
Yeah, and I heard I heard Rob give him a lot of money.
Yeah,
a lot of money.
Yeah, I think Dan Fraga said that he was getting almost like a 6-figure per book. I find that to be incredible.
That's insane.
I heard he was getting about $30,000 a book, which is still pretty incredible.
Yeah, like you have to give it to Rob, man. Like he paid his talent really, really good.
Well, you know, until we know any of this stuff to be true.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I mean that might all be huge exaggerations, but $30,000, I can see it. I can't see Rob paying somebody $100,000. But back in 1992, right around the time, you know, Image was king. You know, where were you in 92?
Right.
Rob did have incredibly deep pockets. I mean, there was a story about he had just bought like a new Dodge Viper and let one of his guys drive it. I wanted to say it was that Big Dave guy who passed, but he like immediately wrecked it. And they said Rob was just like, you know, well, you know. So I mean, but that's funny too, you know, because you never know, because people will also tell you that Rob was hugely temperamental back in that time. So, but maybe he wasn't then. Maybe not on that thing. You know, maybe he was just temperamental about people that were doing the work at the time. So,
I mean, they were pulling in big bucks in that early Image days. Inflated thighs. Sales were there. Not sure what royalties were doing. Sumathor says, I saw an article that Rob said Rob posted on Facebook they paid him 40 grand per issue.
Oh, okay.
Still.
For pencils and inks.
Insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had the number 30 because I believed that was the number that Rob had told me at one time. I just didn't want to say it, but if you said 40, then I'm lowballing.
What is this crap?
What are you doing? Throw this away. There we go.
What was that? Panosian?
We don't want to bring it up.
Dan Pan?
So we just did the cover for that?
Yeah, the variant.
Stupid.
Dan Pansexual Panosian?
All right, here we go. Here's the first issue of Prophet on April 1994. First printing. Ooh.
Oh, colors by Byron Tallman.
Tallman, yeah.
Who would later change his name to Snakebite Cortez and would color Red Star.
Oh, no shit.
Nice.
Yeah. Current colorist for Secret Door LLC. He's working on Omega Storm project with Tommy Patterson right now. Coloring it up.
Nice. Yeah, so here we go. Crazy detail.
Now we're talking. Now we got Stephen Platt with all the time in this fucking world to draw a Conan the Barbarian cyber comic.
Yeah. What? I swear they're not sticky for a reason.
Right.
Nice widescreen. Look, I mean, that's those are double page widescreen panels. That's good. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. You'll see that in Godlike too. Beautiful.
Proper coloring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot. You can see a lot different, not only with his art, but the colors.
The left page is almost simpler, but that could be good thing because it could be quiet before the storm, because if everything's at 11, then you don't necessarily feel it, unless you're changing the volume up and down a bit. So,
right.
So you can use control, discipline, to make your big dynamic sequences more dynamic with all the extra frills.
How's it going, Micro? And we're gonna get some lot of tiny panels here.
Those bullets.
A lot of detail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only thing I would have really liked to have seen is on that middle panel on the right page. I would like to see that be like our big splash panel, with Prophet kind of coming at us or, shooting along the lines of that. Instead, he has the space for it, but he's still kind of minimized him on that page. But yeah, I mean, there's all your bullet shells and gunfire. Like that was the good stuff.
What's up, Rick?
Hail, Rick.
Hail.
Yeah, we're gonna get into some good stuff here. I love the lighting.
The coloring. Ooh, that color. Who colored this?
This was.
Brian Tallman.
Tallman.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, look at this shit.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job.
So I hired this guy.
Very moody. Very moody.
It's great. Yeah.
I love this. And that kind of stuff right there. Pull up here.
Yeah, fantastic.
That's great. What's going on, Jeremy Burtz? Good to see you.
But yeah, it's like this could have been Moon Knight all the way through. I mean, there was no difference here other than the time.
Yeah.
I guarantee is that monthly schedule at Marvel, he just could not do it. And then he came here, probably loaded with new knowledge, and he's like, hey, I want to start over, but this time I want to do everything properly.
Plus, I'm sure he got some, pretty good tutelage and room from Rob as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, now I think he was, actually in the studio, I believe, with Dan and Rob and all those other guys. So, you're kind of feeding off each other there and learning new tricks of the trade. For sure.
What's going on, Kevin Wolf? He said, didn't Liefeld buy him a Ferrari?
I think it was a Jeep.
I heard he bought him
which was said. So this isn't being rumors.
I tell him buy his own fucking Ferrari. You're paying him if you're paying him $100,000.
Yeah.
But 40 grand, he ain't buying his own Ferrari. I wouldn't buy him a Ferrari. I'd just give him 40 grand. What more do you want? Blood? The fuck? making more than a person makes in a, the average person makes in a year. Definitely like back in 1993, motherfucker. And you want me to give you a Ferrari? Fuck you.
Well, Rob wanted to do what he could, get him away from Marvel, pay him way over.
Ah, dude, 40 grand would have got him away from Marvel. Marvel ain't paying that. Believe that. Shit.
This is one thing I loved about Platt's Prophet run. He was a very busy artist. And sometimes it could feel overwhelming, but there was always something very interesting to see and dissect. Like sometimes it would take a second to really look at this to figure out what's going on, where everything kind of is separate down here because things kind of bleed together. But the energy is just off the chart. I mean, that's killer energy.
Yeah, the what's interesting here is like the sheer size of Prophet, because the dude's like 12 feet tall. So everybody else is small. Like, he didn't do this when he did his Moon Knight. Like, it wasn't like all these midgets. Like, he's made a conscious decision. This guy is just going to be fucking huge. So, and I don't recall, but I don't believe in the Panosian run that he was anything larger than your standard kind of, 6-7 head tall guy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I kind of wondered that. I always wondered that about Prophet, how big the character actually was, because he would fluctuate depending on who was drawing him.
Yeah, not for nothing. He's inking these with like tiny ass microns for the majority of it.
They can do some Sharpie work too.
Well, I'm trying to fill in the blacks. But...
Yeah. I've seen the original inks of this online, and they're just crazy. They actually, I think, look better in black and white than with the color. I mean, this looks awesome, but this was just a powerful shot. And I remember when I was a kid, I started to get obsessed with this splatter. Didn't know how to do it, but it was so unique to me, because like people would use splatter, but like he took it to another level.
Yeah, that's what I tell people. Splatter is the lens flare of inkers. A lot of people want to use it because they think they can pull something off like, even this, or Jay Lee. But most of you can't, inkers. Stop it. Stop using the splatter. Stop wasting toothbrushes. Oh. You fucking dummies. So when I if I'm doing anything with like little bits, like I want dirt, I just do it. I use my little Wacom pen. I'm like dot. So very rarely would I use something like that because it is the lens flare of inkers. And here's the thing, I will watch an inker ink this beautiful drawing up, the whole thing will have this nice, slick, clean look to it, nice room for all the colors to go in there. Then they bring out that fucking toothbrush and they go, watch me, I'm an artist. Flick. Fucking dummies, stop ruining artwork.
Yeah,
I hate that so much.
I used to have a toothbrush for that because that's what I was always like. You take your toothbrush, to splatter it out, but I could never control it. It wouldn't look right because it just
no one can. It's splatter. Yeah, it's garbage. It's a garbage trick that should go bye for most people. Most people. You want to do a little grime? Use the tip of your pen and just go dot 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 dot. That's all you got to do. You get the exact same effect, except every dot will go exactly where you need it to go.
Right. Kevin Wolf said it's spatter, you Philistines. Thank you for putting this on our place. I appreciate it. It's like sound effects in blood form. Yeah. Back in the day, it was cool as hell. I've hardly used splatter in my own work, but
good.
Platt could do it.
Keep it clean. Keep those lines nice and clean. Try not to break them up too much. Just keep them clean, nice and slick.
Interesting. Giffen pen up there. It's kind of like a.
Look at that hair.
Hey, can't tell. Yeah, interesting.
A little Kirby-ish.
Is that like a Kirby? Is that like him trying to design Prophet or something? Or
no, because it doesn't look like. It does.
The headgear is the only thing that's Prophet.
Yeah, otherwise he's got like some Indian garb, some Kirby,
it's like Warpath. with some angel wings on them.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Rob could have just said, "Draw whatever you want. I'll throw it in there."
That's probably true.
Oh, look, another person drew a baby in their comic.
What do you mean? Drew another baby in their comic?
You see the little fetus?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mean drawing a fetus in there?
Yeah,
comic.
yeah, little baby.
Is it
fetus.
going to get exploded from a belly?
We're about to find out.
I want to say I hope so, but
I don't see anything exploded out.
Well, that's a wasted opportunity.
damn.
Jim Lee splats when he inks his own work for no reason during Twitch streams.
Well, look at Jim Lee's art, though. He's probably one of the guys I'd say is actually kind of pulling this shit off.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's using the white splatter. I mean, I don't know. When his pieces are finished, man, they look good. Doesn't look like someone just trying to slop up a fucking good looking page. Like he's like putting in the grime and you know.
Yeah, when
some people can do it.
When Lee inks himself, he's got a very interesting style. He does a lot of different techniques than when like Scott inks him. Scott's very clean, nice crisp lines.
Yeah.
And Jim does, you know, Jim has an interesting style. I like the stuff that he comes up with when he inks himself. So here's that moon we're talking about.
Here we go.
Yeah.
One of my favorite covers. Like, that's just
beautiful.
Power. Jeez.
Yeah, look how small Kirby is. That was his name, right? Kirby?
Yeah, Kirby. Yeah, he's got to be like, you know, 5'3" compared to this friggin' 6-foot giant.
Prophet's like 15 foot there.
Yeah.
But I ain't mad.
No,
that's what I think a lot. That's what I think a lot when I think about, again, like when people have that discussion about what does manga have over American comics, and it's like, well, we whittled all of our people back down to 6 feet tall. You know, like you look at like you know Prophet, just these big guys, like these big hulking guys, put them at 8 feet tall, 10 feet tall.
Yep.
We need more of those to kind of punctuate the average height. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you got to have that
than
larger than fucking life character that is just strolling through the fucking village.
Some person said those knees are going to explode. Yeah, that's. But again, awesome. I love the lighting too. I love how he does. You pulled out you said earlier, John, about the Pistachio kind of influence on the lighting. Platt did it fantastic during this period in his style. Like there was some awesome underlighting, shadows. Hard to do.
Yeah.
There's only a few artists that I've seen that do that very, very well.
Hatching is a trick in and of itself. Most people, especially in modern day comics, like, again, that stuff was done and created because at the time you were working on, you know, old school coloring, you know, 4-color colors. Like you didn't have these nice abilities to do these nice, incredible blends. It was like you were going to get a flat tone on there, and that was going to be it. So these guys were going in there and they're trying to find ways to simulate all these different effects. And it's fucking fantastic, especially in black and white.
Yeah.
But when we go into color, it's not so much necessary. So for most people, I'd say just learn how to draw. You know, like the hatching and all that stuff. Because I mean, everybody, when you're a kid, that's all you're doing is you want to hatch. And it's like, you know, just get the drawing to look the way you want it to look. Get your figure, get your exaggerations how you want those to look, and everything else is going to fall into place. And the hatching, you don't really need it. Like, not anymore. But if that's something you want to do later on in your career, go ahead and, you know, now that you know how to draw, start working that back in. But who was it? Like Lionel Yu, you know, I think that was kind of like his thing. Like he wanted to do the big hatching stuff, but then he cleaned up. Like he cleaned up his act. And, you know, then he just started working on the drawing end. And then he had worked all the way to, he did the Superman Birthright, I think. And then he went to do his own independent thing, which was something Silent Dragon. So that was called. He went off and did his own little independent book where he went, like, I believe, full bore onto the rendering. Like, he's like, okay, I'm ready. I can bring it all back now. And he did, and he was on fire, and that he went right from, I believe, that Silent Dragon into like some Marvel work at that time, early 2000s ish, and then he was doing like just that really incredible run at Marvel, Avengers, and just fantastic stuff. And then at some point it started cleaning back up again because I think he wanted to play more video games. Yeah. So How the Mighty Fall. That's it.
So in this issue, we're switching up. He's actually got Marlowe inking him, which is, I think, doing a pretty good job. The one thing, the biggest thing I noticed, though, right off the bat, his page layouts in this issue have, taken a step up, a lot better.
Okay.
Just in my opinion. Just kind of the way he's laying stuff out, a little bit more creative. Maybe that could be influence of the people he was around, Extreme Studios.
Jasper Plan 9. Jon Control Z Malin schools the traditional artist. Look, man, I started traditional. I know all the mistakes. I know all the fuckeries. So all the lies these pencilers hold, and these inkers hold. I know them.
Know all the tricks.
Mm-hmm. No, looks like he's doing a little bit. Back up real quick, one page. Yeah, it looks like he's actually trying to save time here. I think maybe the landscape is helping on that, but there's a lot more open space here that isn't filled with all the little nuances that he was throwing in before. There's not, like on the left, there's just not that huge amount of smoke flying up out of nowhere, and
right.
Now it's like he left. Even though that glow on the moon is pretty, that's the colorist. So he's got a nice big circle. He's got a couple of these vertical panels going through there, and then he's just got a pinup of, hey, here's a couple guys standing around. So in terms of a page, that's a pretty easy page, and that's something I think about too when I'm working on a page. I'm like, how do I just get like the most simple view of everything going on here? Like, I don't need a bazillion elements necessarily in a panel to make that panel work. What I need is like one good element. And then if I want, I can kind of add more. But the more I add, then I start getting away from more of like the nice silhouettes and the simplicity of the drawing. And on that left side, that's what I'm definitely seeing. I'm seeing a lot of that kind of, these are simple layouts here, simple to do. Easy to draw. It's not going to take them all day long. The left page was probably done for speed. The right page, a little bit more inspired, but also confusing because now we get a lot more of the kind of elements that fill up the empty area. So we have speed lines on our bottom right now, and then we got these little swish marks going up in the sky. I don't know what that is behind him. His cape, the ice. I don't know what it is.
Right here.
Yeah, all that stuff behind that figure.
Like a tree or something.
Yeah. So now he's filling that up, but I mean, it almost looks like a pulse symbol. So that's what I like as well. It's like it's implying almost like a speed or a pressure. But otherwise, I mean, it's still kind of an empty background. The panel above it's got the same kind of effect going into it. And then I can't even really tell what's on panel 1. Is that a guy lighting a cigar?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's looking at something, maybe.
He's looking at his gun hole.
Yeah.
He's like, that is what he's lighting a cigar with his gun. That's what he's doing. He's like, this is what it's like when I point this at people. This is how they
maybe somebody gave him a little tips of the trade to.
Yeah, but look at here, right? You take all that flash away. We got 4 simple vertical panels on the left. Then we get one big kind of splash shot. And then we get a little panel on the right. But everything else is like all that speed line. That's all trickery. It's all fuckery in there. Looks great. But that's what I'm just saying. It's like, you can still impress people with less and some tricks.
Gotta learn the tricks. Gotta learn the tricks.
See, on this one, I'll complain. I'll say, look, he had those speed lines in panel 1. That's where he should have laid it on. Go back, put a bazillion of those speed lines in there. Let's really amp the speed of this one up. But he didn't. He put about 10. but the snow like kind of blasting out, that's really cool. Yeah, it has that kind of like a saw look to it, saw blade.
Yeah.
But then we go back to those kind of headshot panels again. I mean, like that's really a lot of, it's not necessarily a stat as it is that you can just light box the same face and they just draw over them. That saves you a lot of work. Maybe you have a little subtlety, like the mouth starts to open, but still that's very easy. So he's kind of cheated us on these last few pages with only because we know what he can do when he's actually working hard. But I think right now what he's working for is another $100,000 or $40,000 put in his back pocket, by next week. So
because
he's like, shit, if I just get these out 3 in a year, I can make 100 or no, I can make 120. Is that right? No, 40, 80,
20.
Is that right? No.
Yeah, 120.
Yeah, 120.
Yeah, 120. Okay, yeah. I can make 120 grand a year.
Shit, and then
maybe I should do 3 of these a year. Did he ever do 3?
The amount that these came out, I'm not quite sure. If it was anything like the pit run, yeah, probably 3 a year.
Look, man, if you had the chance to make, but that's a good point. That's a great point. And that's a point I tried to make before. It doesn't matter, guys. And when you're out there if you're a writer trying to hire an artist, it doesn't matter how much you pay an artist. You can pay them $50 a page, or you can pay them $40,000 a book, and they still will not get this fucker done on time for you. So it's a certain person that gets it done on time. No amount of money can make a lazy fuck change his fucking stripes. They will always fuck you. So you have to find the person that is able to meet the deadline, and then maybe they evolve into Stephen Platt level. But now they're still a deadline-oriented artist. So if you can capture that, man, that's lightning in the bottle. But most people, so when you're like, oh, man, I should pay him more, maybe he'll speed up. No, he won't. He'll take the money and he'll go to the beach. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they do. So you pay a guy $40,000 per issue. He's like, well, I just need 40 grand to live on for a year. Why should I show back up? People are dumb and they're short-sighted.
That's an excellent point. We have is Platt still drawing for anyone, or did he move into corporate?
He went into storyboarding, is my understanding.
Yeah, working in Hollywood.
But he's tiptoed back in from time to time.
Yeah,
but he is not what he was before.
Yeah, every once in a while he'll jump into like a cover or something, and it's like a shadow of who he was. Mm-hmm. A lot more Dave Finch now.
That's all it looks like. He looks like like someone trying to emulate Dave Finch right now. Like, who cares? We already got a Dave Finch, and surprisingly, he puts out more work than Splat could, and better. So, he's awesome. I don't really know if the industry needs Stephen Platt at this point.
Yeah, probably not. Especially this back then was
that guy is dead. This guy is
exactly.
Dead.
He doesn't exist
no
anymore.
More.
It's like it's fun to look back on this kind of stuff, but if he came back and did a book, it wouldn't be the same.
No, because he wouldn't be getting paid $40,000 to do it. You know what I mean? So he'd be like, "Oh yeah, maybe I'll do some interiors," and then maybe he'll get on 3, and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm not getting paid 40 grand to do this. Go back to storyboard." So that passion is gone.
He's just killing it on the speed lines on this right page. I mean, there's so much movement and speed in here. Now that's a fight scene. That's a fun fight scene.
See, I would say actually and continue that. Stephen Platt is a good example of what not to do in comics, and that is when you have an opportunity to make $40,000 a month. You make $40,000 a month. You get this fucking work done, motherfucker. You live, breathe, eat comic books for a year. And then when you've turned yourself into the god king shit of Image fucking comics at the end of that fucking year, then you go make your own studio, or you find ways to advance beyond that and increase your money. You don't just take a back seat. But look, these guys are 20 years old, 25 years old. I don't know what they were,
Yeah, they were pretty young.
Yeah.
Micro said, "Is his art different because storyboards change it, or an attempt to speed up his art?" He was changing before he went into storyboards.
The when he returned.
Yeah,
No,
like
I mean he. Are we talking after storyboards? Why do you keep pointing at that? What?
With this, I was just pointing out how badass that was.
Oh,
Sorry.
what was
No,
the
I think he was
question?
asking like when he's come back from why it's so different now when he comes back as to where it was in the past.
No, because he's emulated David Finch. That's it. Like he just
Yeah.
wants to do what David Finch does. Like kind of like he emulated Todd McFarlane's work earlier. You know, now he's inspired by much more clean and normal proportioned human beings, and that's not where Stephen Platt had drew his strength from.
Yeah.
Stephen Platt would have to make a conscious decision when he lays out every board on how to draw like old Stephen Platt would have, you know, with these big, larger than life characters and, you know, these itty bittier characters and 1,000 bullet shells. You have to make a conscious effort. If you don't do that and you just kind of draw as you draw, you won't reach that same level of greatness.
And it was, oh yeah.
Here we go.
That's one of my favorite.
Mm.
Actually, one of the characters that influenced Reaper Destroyer's look. To be honest with you.
Yeah, Crip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to draw him when I did Nitrogen.
Hell yeah.
Always a cool character.
Him and Prophet fighting. And they were jacked too, if I recall. So,
Mhm.
which was great. So, even I wasn't dumbed down at that time. So, yeah, I mean, look at when I went to Marvel, when I did Thunderbolts and even Cable, you know what I mean? Like they had a certain model, but I really should have pushed, you know, and said, hey, let's do Cable where he's 10 feet tall. You know what I mean? That would have been a really great approach to being like, hey, we're doing something like the old school again, right? So,
another fill-in. Oh, All-Star.
Carl, nice.
Nice. But not Platt.
Because it's Bloodstrike.
Oh, that's right. I just put it in here because it's
Right.
a badass cover. That's right. I forgot. Just want to show this off.
that's why Sean's here. He knows these books inside out.
I'm
Well, I
a
remember I was
nerd.
pulling this out of my collection. I was like, I want to show this off just because this was one of my favorite covers.
It's a great cover, yeah.
Yeah. Just badass.
Now, is that where you got the pose or the idea
Mhm.
for that one? Okay.
Yep.
Do I know my guy or do I
necessarily a
know my
swipe,
guy?
But definitely a tip of the cap.
No, it's a homage. Yeah.
Yep, an homage. So, all right. So here we go. This is a big switch up in his style. This is where he was pulling out of what made him very popular with all the energy. You're going to see him change a lot more into cleaner lines, I'd say. And maybe this could have been part of the transition to the more Finch kind of style. But this cover was so super cool. It's
Mhm.
got like the old school 90s chrome.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, like those are the kind of gimmicks that would make me buy comics. Even comics I didn't like
Right.
what is that? It was a Valiant book. Quesada did the cover. It was like
Solar? Oh,
Exo
Manowar. That's a great
Yeah.
book. What?
I didn't like the book, but the
Yeah.
cover sold me. I
Oh, the
bought
cover's great. Yeah.
Sumo said if he crowdfunded a book, I wonder how he'd do with a lot of people knowing he had deadline issues in the past. I don't know. That's a shame. I can remember him being super young and seeing Soul Saga's cover and being blown away. Soul Saga was some great work.
Mhm.
Definitely changed his style, but it was still some great work, great color.
Yeah,
Everyone looking
that
at
was about it. Like that's where I saw his work last have any kind of real quality to it.
Yeah, we'll take a look because I thought he did some really good work in Soul Saga.
Unique quality to it. Let me say that because he still has quality. It's just he's a poor man's David Finch now. You know?
Yeah, and you can even tell with this, he took a big step in a different direction. Still a lot of detail, still a lot of insane detail in his work. In fact, maybe more, a lot more clean lines.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a lot cleaner than his early work. Eddie said he hated gimmick books.
Whoops.
Not
the
me.
90s
I
was-
didn't love every one. You know, like a lot of the hologram covers I didn't like. They just didn't look cool. You know, so but something like that, I love that slick, shiny cover. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
That's fantastic. There.
this is still one of my favorite
Yeah.
profit
Beautiful.
poses of all time.
Mhm.
I mean, even in the hair was insane. The atmosphere in the snow, just kind of like web-like around his feet.
Yeah.
This is a
standing
tits
there.
ass book. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Much cleaner. Like, I mean, just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
again, it's like, it's not, you know, he got rid of all, well, at least here, there doesn't appear to be splatter shot about willy-nilly.
I think that's one of the big things that he got away from. Like, you don't see him do a lot of splatter
Thank God.
after the first. But yeah, he got away from. But yeah, this is just insane. I will still say I credit Stephen Platt for helping me take a giant growth in my own style because of those gnome,
No.
yeah, whatever they're called, DVDs that they put out. He did one
Page
of them.
Page 2 is straight manga. That left side, that's straight manga.
Oh yeah,
The big eruption, even the panel 1 where it's the ground is starting to erupt, and then panel 2 you get that big pimple explosion. That's it. And then the robot on the right almost looks like it's right out of like a Masamune. But
Right.
Yeah, he was definitely being influenced by someone else during
Nice.
this time. I mean, I don't know.
But I like the
exactly.
simplicity. Like this page is so much easier to read than almost anything. Like
Oh yeah,
here we can read it. It still has the energy. Still really good stuff.
Now
Probably
the colors,
better.
oh, sorry.
Probably better.
Now are the colors taken away from the detail? Like, are they coloring over it, which normally would be black and white, like the snow on it on the robot? Like, you think it would be cooler if that was lined out or look like snow colored?
What do you mean?
Like, all right, you see like the white stuff? Like, he drew that. That's snow.
At the bottom of
Yeah,
its feet?
yeah. I'm just saying in general, like a lot of the detail is colored. Do you think that's lost being colored?
I don't know. I'd have to look at I guess a high res because I'm not. Are you saying they're doing like color holds on some of the line art?
Yeah.
the colors on this book.
My kind of thing with color holds is when to do those. It's not always, but it's like if the stuff is going into the distance, that's a good time to do them because you're still adding depth, you know. So you're fading those lines out a little bit. If you're doing it in the foreground, I'd say that's much more likely that you probably are doing something that's unnecessary. But the bottom line is the line. It's about contrast. So if you do a color hold on a black line and you turn it blue, but it's still a dark blue, as long as it contrasts against that next color very well, then I don't think too much is being kind of like Kirby Crackle, you know, because you always have the urge that you want to color in the Kirby Crackle.
Right.
And it's not that you shouldn't, you know, maybe you should. Some people don't, but you know, like you say, oh, well, am I losing some of that graphic impact of that really strong, perfect black against all these colors? And like, yeah, maybe you are. But it doesn't mean that you're that if you colorize it and turn it into an orange or whatnot, and you know, that it won't still look fucking cool. So wrong colors can fuck it up, you know. So just be sure at the end of the day that it looks cool, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see who the colorist on this book is because I really like it. It really pops.
You can look. The book is in your hand, Joe.
I think it's at the end.
If there's only a way. There you go.
Lichtner.
Lichtner. Oh, is that Liquid guy?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay, that's why it looks.
Oh, Liquid. Yeah, man, Liquid is one of the best, or was one of the best coloring houses around.
When we get the Soul Saga, I mean, they killed it on that book. Yeah, a lot cleaner. You can follow the action a lot better than in his early work.
And maybe like on the right side, you know how they took the Prophet and colored those two panels like a gray. You know, like another colorist might have just done those in the traditional colors, but leaving that kind of that gray or whatever wash color that they have going on there, it might make that page even easier to read. So, you know, when we're talking about clarity, you know, like even in those early Prophet issues, those could have been possibly clearer just by the colorist going in there and making some, you know, some possible smarter decisions. I mean, I have to go through the entire book to really kind of reassess that. But in terms of clear storytelling, so far, this entire book looks clear.
Yeah, I don't know why they rebooted it. What year is this?
95, maybe?
I have to look in the back of the book.
But before Platt ran off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is, but yeah, since you pointed it out, though, I mean, this is heavy manga influence. I mean, just like all of this, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, he
Well,
had Bastard.
but the Speedline stuff, like all the way back to McFarlane, was always manga. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's why Todd was drawing how he's drawing, because he was a little pre-weeb.
He had a Bastard all paced all around his studio. I then switched out to Finch, but he was highly motivated by that shit.
A lot of the 90s was, yeah. That's what made me so good. I mean, we've talked about it. If you've seen our earlier shows when John has been on, we talked about how the early 90s guys, late 80s guys really brought in a lot of manga feel and technique into their work, and how it added so much to it. Really separated them from their predecessors and gave the Western comics art style a more dynamic feel, I think.
Wow. Well, I mean, it started the boom. It
Mhm.
started the comic book boom in American comics. It was when manga was not trying to be duplicated, like Marvel tried to do in the early 2000s under the misguided views of C.B. Cebulski, who thinks he understands manga. He wasn't. They weren't trying to duplicate manga. They were taking what they like and they found a way to fit it into their own styles and make it look cool. So they weren't doing big eyes and pointy chins.
Yeah, yep. They added it in perfectly and it became this awesome blend that is still my favorite. My favorite art style. No, didn't matter who was the artist, but just that those techniques are still my favorite. Yeah, yeah. That was a good book. That was a good book. Ooh.
Hey.
Hello, Nicole.
So yeah, again, awesome cover. I've got like 3 or 4 different copies of this issue.
Yeah, really good stuff. He's really slick now. He's like, what you would probably argue would be like commercial or mainstream.
There you go.
So he's kind of shaking off some of that indie sludge ink splatter.
And he probably, saw some of his contemporaries coming up, making big waves like Campbell and Turner and any of those second wave guys. Finch, obviously, seeing what they were doing and adopting a lot of their style. And he's actually got a pretty good. Marlowe does a good job inking him.
Yeah, he's a talented guy.
I've liked what I've seen him ink so far.
Yeah, and so he's probably not making $40,000 a comic if someone else is inking it. Was Marlowe Kiza always inking him?
He wasn't always.
No, he did most of the Prophet stuff. He did himself. I think Marlowe did one of the issues of Prophet.
So on that one issue, he probably wasn't making that 40 G's.
Yeah.
So now he's talking pay cut.
But here we go. You take away some of the stuff that he was during the Prophet run, first Prophet run, but then you still have these awesome detail. His detail got better. A lot of his form got better, but you still got this awesome shredded clothes. I think he was one of the best that did that at the time. Just insane energy. Love it.
Yeah, but lucky to have a great colorist too, man, because
yeah.
A bad colorist could make this look like fucking shit real quick. It's great.
Said he didn't really connect with the title. He was hired to script. I did hear that. Yeah.
What? Who? Dixon wrote this?
Yep.
Scripted it. That.
Writer. Yep. Yeah, he was on an interview with who was that, Jasper? They said that on. I can't remember. But yeah, I think he found the team that he liked working on. Even though in Soul Saga, I think he worked with Bat a little bit on inks as well. But he stuck with this liquid colors, and it was a good business move.
Well, yeah, if he would have actually, again, if he did more than a book, a year, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Look, a lot of respect for Stephen Platt and his art and what he's brought to the game, but I don't give this guy a single cent of credit for any business moves.
No.
Like timeliness. He was there. He squandered the greatest opportunity. He was there at the right time to take advantage of the greatest opportunity. It's a lot of love and respect for his art, man. But it's really to me kind of a sad story. Look, it's only because I think what could you have done in the comic book industry? Why no one gets into comics and says, you know what my passion is? Storyboarding. You know, they go over there for fucking money. That's it. Fast money.
Right.
So, this guy he could have done anything. He could have done anything in this industry. And he just kind of crapped out on it.
That's insane. Jeez.
Lazy.
He's getting lazy on the hair, where he's just like one shaping it instead of the individual.
Yep.
I always thought that looked stupid.
It looked. The one time it looked cool was in this issue when he's standing in the snow.
Okay.
I thought that looked cool. This looks a little Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Ish.
He's an island boy.
Daniel Russell, pot meets kettle. Yeah, I'd like to see Stephen Platt forming a publishing company, handling all of his own marketing, hiring out multitudes of people, and doing multitudes of books, including Visions with over 40 artists, different variety of colorists, and still put out 50 pages a fucking year of his own book. So,
truth.
Yeah, I think I'm doing all right, man.
Somebody clip that and send it to Stephen Platt's ass.
No, someone clip it and send it back to Daniel Russell.
All right, so yeah, I wanted to cover just a little bit of that because that was one of where his style change went. Now we're jumping to some of my favorite work that he did. The Soul Saga run, even though he didn't finish it, but visually wise, were beautiful, especially the colors. I mean, yeah, so he's got bat ink in him on this. So you see a little bit of the top cow flavor coming in here, still with liquid.
Yeah, those colors are great.
Yeah, this is
now the one thing that kind of bothers me is it's in a lot of the Platt stuff. You can find it in probably a lot of people's work, but like the panels almost are just kind of hard to tell. I wish that like on something like this that they just would have turned the panel borders white, and that would have made these pop out perfect.
Yep, I got you in there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was kind of unique to use the inside cover. I don't know if that was
Daniel Russell. Touchy much? Yeah, you touched a hot kettle or a hot pot. That's what I am. Pot meat kettle.
Mailing with a pimp slap. Yeah, this and Battle Chasers were my jam as a little kid. Yeah, Battle Chasers was cool.
Yeah, you get some Battle Chasers in here.
Yeah, it's his version of Battle Chasers. I read Soul Saga for the first time last year and thought it was amazing. Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of what had to do with Soul Saga that was so awesome is so this is the Finch Platt style, but he worked with some incredible talents on this book. The colors were fucking amazing. And Bat did a great job with inking what Platt was doing.
Fantastic colors.
Yeah.
Oof. They're so good. Now I want to talk about the colors and less about Platt, but Platt's still doing great work here,
Yeah, I mean, we did the same thing when we were looking at the new X-Men run, and we were looking at the colors there. And like sometimes a colorist just comes on and just takes the book over because it just looks so fantastic. This is definitely one of them.
Yeah. Great stuff. Good reds. I love that. A lot of times
really
people color
pops.
red. Like red is like you can separate the men from the boys when you see a colorist color red. If they color it white, they turn it pink really quick, and it looks like shit. It looks like a guy wearing pink. So you have to move a red to an orange, and then you have to move it to like a yellow, and then eventually you can start moving into a white without getting a pink. Most people just use white to color red, and it turns it pink. So good, strong reds. I like that.
Noah, this is Liquid, who was an amazing group. I'm not sure. back
It was
in
a
the
coloring
90s.
house. So what are
Coloring house, okay.
Lickner's coloring house, I believe. So I don't know a lot about them, but they had a small window of time where they were like, you never pay attention to a coloring house until Liquid came around, and you're like, damn,
Right.
this looks fucking tight. And it was always Liquid.
Yeah.
And then they offered up, like, they were selling themselves out to like Marvel and stuff, and this is what happened. So, they're like, oh, if I understand this correctly, I believe they would offer themselves out to Marvel with like a silver package, a gold package, platinum package. So if you wanted like this, you got to pay.
Oh, no shit.
So Marvel might have paid while the money was still there to be made in like the, mid 90s, right before the break, but then nothing. There would be no offers, and then it'd just be, give us the silver package, or the bronze, give us the bronze package, give us the cheap one. And then you very quickly just became a house full of basic colorists, because you can do better, but you're not incentivized to do better. But since you're also not making that good money, there's not really a good point in being part of a studio. You can just do this on your own and not have to, be involved with other middlemen.
You could tell when they were lazy. You're like, oh, that sucks, because you know what they could do.
Well, this Liquid, like, they raised the fucking bar for colors, and now nobody raises the fucking bar. There's no coloring house out there where like everybody's like, here's the comic book standard, guys, you have to hit here. Like, the bar for comic books is extremely low. But you want to know what great fucking coloring is? You have to look at Liquid.
Truth.
Blues and warms and cools, like, they knew how to do it, man. Color holds, they could do it all.
Yeah, they've gone backwards with colors in a lot of books in the industry these days.
Most colorists just want they just want to grab that check. You know what I mean? They don't have dreams of becoming the great colorist. They don't have dreams of becoming a Kyle Ritter. They just want to color the check or color the pages, get paid, and do as many books within a year that they can. That's all they want to do. They don't care about anything beyond that. They just want to make that fast money. So that's why the bar is so low. We should shun them. Is what we should them. Yes, we should demand that every colorist be coloring at the level of a young Kyle Ritter.
Liquid did a lot. I'm not sure all the books that they did, but they were.
I'm not 100% if they did anything for Wildstorm.
Yeah, the last few issues of Balance Chase is tight from like 5 on.
Jasper said Michael Bancroft is quietly the best colorist in CG.
No, Kyle Ritter is the best colorist in CG.
Justin
Ponser?
Yeah. Ponser was a great colorist in Marvel. Unfortunately, died of cancer 2 years. Oh, that's too bad.
I know the name Ponser. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is some of my favorite work of his. This run that he never finished. I think he only did 5 issues.
Yeah, and the 5th one's in French.
Man, look at this. Good Lord.
Yeah, you can live in that scene. You know what I mean? That's how good that fucking scene is. You can live there.
Like, cinematic.
Mm-hmm.
It's just beautiful.
That would be a great poster.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. If I was a colorist, dude, I would only be striving to be this great. You know what I mean? Like, this would be it. Like, I'd want to put everybody else to shame, and I would want to just utterly destroy all my enemies. But most colorists, they don't have enemies because they're all doing the exact same trick.
Yeah.
Do a bunch of cuts, do some fast renders. Red is red, make it red. Lighter shade, darker shade. Move on. That's it. Get it done. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about environmental lighting. This is supposed to be a red cape. It's going to be a red cape. Don't worry about what kind of blue light is coming down on it. Just move. Move, move, move. That's all they fucking want to do. They're all playing the exact same game.
Red Battle Chasers trade and had an abrupt, disappointing ending. Yeah. That moving from red to orange to yellow, that's basic in art classes, analogs, colors.
Red, orange, yellow, green.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like a word or something.
I should like try to pronounce it.
Jasper said, I said quietly. I got you. He's pretty good. But yeah, Kyle Ritter he's definitely head and shoulders above a lot of guys.
True.
Everyone.
Yeah.
I've not seen anybody as passionate about their work as Kyle Ritter. If there's someone more passionate out there, show them to me. Show them. I'll hire them right now. So
a really nice dude too. I had a chance to talk to him once in DMs. He's a really cool guy. Had a couple different inkers on this book, not just Bat. I think Weems inked on here. Chance Wolf was inking. He had like 3 other guys. He had like 5 inkers on this book.
Now, hold up. Like coloring here, it looks like it's actually back up one page here.
Like pencil?
No, like coloring. Like, you remember how that page 2 was all blue? Like that beautiful blue? Like, we're not getting that in that background city anymore. You know? It's like that kind of oomph to what we had before. It's just gone. This looks like almost like somebody else started. Well, then again, Liquid was a coloring house, so it looks like they got the intern on it here. It's all right. They're doing the job, but I mean, you guys could feel the impact of that blue and gold, and you can't feel any impact on this building here. It's just a building.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
That lives and breathes, and then that's just it's okay. Mm-hmm.
I love the storytelling aspect of this, just coming out of the shadow. Just like that. It's good shit. Good shit.
Now, is it really good storytelling, or is it just like, I got to meet a deadline? Let me do this trick.
It could just be that.
Yeah.
But I've always liked it.
Oh, yeah.
It's just it's simplicity, but done well.
Right.
In my opinion.
I don't know about the deadline part at this point. I think he's probably like, I've seen my sales orders and I'm not doing what I did on Profit, and this shit's expensive, and I'm talking to people in Hollywood right now, you know?
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Andrew Taz said, not talking much about Platt, are we? Well, it's because we were, and the art's great, but the color is
beautiful.
Where were you an hour and 23 minutes and 15 seconds ago? We busted through it.
Well,
the storytelling, the panels, you know, they're getting in lockstep, but also that's kind of the winding down of Platt. It's you want to have the clear storytelling, but also the craziness of Platt's panel designs and whatnot. Like now they're very much rectangles, you know.
Yeah. Man, that's some crazy detail, and the colors just.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were not new to this channel, when we look at these books, we talk about the artists. You know, specifically, this is about Stephen Platt, but we'll also dive into the other talent that's on the books, especially if something jumps out and really impresses you, such as Liquid here on the colors. You know, when we did the Silvestri stream, Steve Furkow on the new X-Men run had some fantastic colors. You know, and you can't help but just talk about the art of the book. Sometimes that takes away from the artist in a good way.
Yeah, good art. Good colors make for good art.
She could use an extra tit, then that would be perfect.
Just one more.
See, like when you close the book after having seen this, you know, you're not necessarily saying that was good art or good colors. You're saying there was a real wow page. You know what I mean? Like you just got blown away. So that's what you should be getting by the time you close up on the last page. You're like, oh my god. Oh, there we go with that night scene again. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Beautiful. Ooh, look at those butts. Look at the rendering on those butts.
Yeah.
See, that's what I was talking about, right? Like you don't need to do the hatching, you know what I mean? Like you can let the colors go in there and take care of that secondary lighting, and look how beautiful that looks. It looks great.
Yeah, when you work with a colorist like this, you know, if you trust them to do that, I can see that. You have to back away a little bit of the habit of wanting to go in there and render.
How many issues of this did they do?
5.
Oh, they got the 5. Oh, okay.
I think the 5th one was the last issue they did. I could be mistaken. If anybody knows in the chat, let me know. But I think they only did 5 issues, and then he was gone.
Nice big splashy page like that.
Yeah,
oh, that's the inside cover too. Yeah, good use of that.
Yeah, like they did this quite a bit. Like I almost want to say that every single issue they use the inside cover to have this big cinematic.
Mm-hmm. Who do we got on
it.
credits now? Are we same team or what?
Oh, hard to see. There it is. Yes. Nope. So on its colors are the same, obviously, but inks we got Jason Gorder, Joe Weems, and Sal Regla.
Oh, okay. Was there only one inker on the last one?
Actually, there are 5 inkers on the last one.
Oh shit! What's going on there?
Yeah. He had Bat, he had Weems, he had Chance Wolf, and then 2 other guys I can't remember. Man, that's a killer horse.
Yeah.
And John knows something about drawing horses.
I don't know anything about horses, man.
I had that pretty cool godlike spread with that.
Yeah. Well, it's a struggle, you know. So, yeah,
Okay,
looks great.
6.
Kind of, I don't know, almost Miller-esque with the silhouettes of these figures and that horse kind of popping out of them. So, looks cool.
Yeah, it looks awesome. So, Astro Zombie saying there was a 6th issue, but it was only released in France. I've never seen it then.
I don't know what the point of that would have been.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder why it was only released there. I will have to hunt it down. Add it to my collection. Jeez, look at that.
That thing's glowing on his dick. What is that? Oh, is it a sword?
It's a sword. Yeah.
Oh.
Perfect placement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just again though, besides his work, I mean, I'm just blown away by the colors in this book. Not every single page, but there's some stuff that just truly.
Ooh, look at that, where your thumb's at.
Right here.
Great job. Yeah, like that. There looks like good color holds. They faded the entire background back into the sky. Like that. That's good stuff. So we get that little kind of floating building there popping out.
Yeah, it reminds me of a big budget movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, even hold up real quick, Joe. Back up. Even the top left panel, like they pushed all that stuff into the background. That series of panels there. Yeah. So in the black and white, that stuff all would have been essentially on the same plane, but the colors went in there and cut it out, pushed it all back. So kudos there too.
Luke said I gotta look into the Soul Saga more. Yeah, it's worth it, guys. Just realized these soldiers look like Bison. They do.
Oh yeah, the guy with the hat. Yeah,
they do. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess they all have the hat. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, same thing here. A lot of depth. The colors pushing everything back.
Yep. Smart coloring.
Yeah, I wish everything looked this good these days. If they still want to put this into their stuff.
See, yeah, I like this thing looks fucking fantastic, but having that it started in 95, it's like, man, in 2020, I want like 200-300 pages of this thing.
This is actually 2000, but yeah.
When it started?
Soul Saga?
When Soul Saga started?
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, 2000.
Really?
Yeah, I think
thought he had already gone off to do storyboards by that point.
Yeah, 2000.
Oh, okay. Huh.
I think that Prophet we looked at when this kind of team first started, I think that was 95.
All right, well, let me say in 20 years, I'd like to have 200 pages of just one full story, so I know that it'd be worth it for me to go track it all down,
Right. Yeah, that's interesting, though. I'm going to have to go track down that 6th issue.
Yeah, it's in French.
That's weird.
Well,
you have something to back that well up?
Not that I know. I don't know anything. I just say random comments.
Just say random words.
Yeah.
Man, purple is done really well on this page.
Mm.
Like it pops out really nice with the blue. Right? I guess it's like a kind of a blue purple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again on the thing on the right, that's where I'd say, like, again, use white borders there. Make this a little clearer for me, because definitely just looking through the monitor as I'm looking at it now, I'm having a hard time being like, is that a panel or is he peeking out of a door? Are they in the same room? So use a white panel border, and all of a sudden all that stuff makes perfect sense really quick.
So they must have done an English print at some time.
Now there's a bootleg version online. Excuse me, that somebody wrote it in English. They just put it over the French words, so they might have gotten it from that.
Nanako, hello.
Weebery. Boobs. All right. Again, great use of the double page spread inside cover. Oh, we got Sal. Okay, so Sal Riegel, Joe Weems, and Marlowe.
Okay.
Keeping a lot of the same guys, but every once in a while there's a new name that jumps on here. Colors are still the same.
Yeah, beautiful colors there, man.
Yeah.
And look, like those clouds, like I'm really curious on if any of those clouds were ever actually drawn by Stephen Platt, or if the colorist went in there and did all that. And if so, then that colorist needs a fucking bonus.
Yeah.
That's someone that's thinking and saying, hey, I know I can put my own thing on here, be it on its own layer, whatever, and then give Stephen Platt the opportunity to say no to it. But Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. I was like, I bet that was all added by the colorist. And if that's the case, yeah. I mean, that's some good, that's an artist, not just a colorist.
Yeah, because if you think too, like, it's barely a double page spread. It's a single, it's a one pager, and it's almost like, it's like they slid it a little bit to kind of give it that double page aspect. But they could have copy and pasted that little floating thing and dropped another one there and another one further back. I mean, it wouldn't have been that difficult.
It's actually a good point. Let me look real quick. I can't tell. They could have.
They could be the same
copy and pasted all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good
So
point.
they could have turned that a single page into a double page spread with just a little slide there.
Fibbers.
Trickery.
That's badass.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
simple,
cool.
but just love this the light source.
Yeah.
Coming through. Very cinematic camera. That's great.
I don't think he would have drawn that double page spread. Like, he would have wasted his time. At this point, he would have just sideways a regular page and went to the gusto.
Didn't Platt try to be a stand-up comedian or something? I don't know.
I don't think
That's
so.
awesome.
It could have been. I don't know.
I mean, more power to him if he tried to.
Where's Frege? We're talking about his boy. Nah, Frege wouldn't let us get away with half the shit we said. No, man, you guys don't understand, man. Like,
he was addicted to crack.
Yeah. We were going to the strip club. We were having a good time. We were 22, man.
Yeah, I should have invited him on. There you go.
Good stuff.
There you go.
But I keep coming back to it again. Again, just white panel borders, man. It would have solved so many problems.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Because it's just of how dark the colors are.
Yeah, it looks like they get kind of dark there too. Because like that monster face kind of, I don't know, his muscles, all that stuff kind of disappear. It could be the monitor, but
yeah, it could be.
Girls look great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sluts.
Back when comic chicks were comic chicks. Yeah, that's one thing that always impressed me with a really good colorist is when you can make things actually glow on a page.
Yeah.
Without having any actual light source. Like, it's just not everybody can do that. See, a lot of people try, but when you can actually master doing shit like that, it's pretty impressive. The heart wants what the heart wants. Absolutely.
Facts.
This issue has noticeably better faces from the early issues. He could be improving.
Yeah, it's part of that Platt stuff, I think. Or I'm sorry, the Finch.
Finch,
You know, like he just keeps pulling more and more towards Finch's stuff. Like this is super slick, super clean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The tech that he uses in this entire run is very awesome. Yeah, again, like I said, this is I love the old Prophet stuff, but the Soul Saga run they did was some of my favorite work.
Yeah, look at that.
Jeez. Get the glare out of here if I can.
Yeah, I wonder how much of like even Turner was an influence at this point. Just from all these kind of like some of the armor details almost look like something you might find in like what is it, Aspen or Fathom.
Oh yeah. Well, okay, so that's not Top Cow anymore. When did it stop being Top Cow? Okay, so issue 3 was Top Cow, so now it's oops, lost that spot. But I was gonna wonder if I wonder if he worked in the studio at Top Cow at this point when he was working on this, or if he was more of a just from home freelance guy. But if he got into that studio and got the influences of some of the guys there.
Oh, well, what wasn't him and Turner pals? Him, Turner, Frago?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sure probably Frege.
But I mean, he was in Anaheim in 93.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, he was hanging out with Dan Frege and all those guys in 93. So Top Cow was just, I believe Top Cow was still in the same vicinity. LA area. It's not far. Great job on that statue.
Yeah. And the you can find the black and white of that too online. It looks great as well.
That guy drawn in the background doesn't really look like a Stephen Platt drawing. There's like zero rendering on the face. There's no heavy cheek.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, so this is pretty much the same team as the last book. Well, I was gonna point out,
Christian Lichtner guy is getting writing credits. Was he writing this thing before?
I think so. I think it was him and
maybe that was the deal they made. Like, oh, you want me to color with the platinum package?
The platinum package. I get to also write the book.
I'm gonna write this thing too.
So this is April 2001. So a year, 5 issues.
Not bad for Platt. All right.
Probably why it's so high quality.
The question is, how long was he working on it before that?
True.
You know, I mean, he might have had 3 issues in the can over 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's cool. Oops, sorry, guys.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, some great detail. This was probably about the time he did that DVD.
Mm-hmm. And again, the buildings in the background, everything looks like it's pushed back. So
yeah, it really makes everything pop.
Mm-hmm. So the colors has to go in there and make sure to get it in between all those little strands of hair. So everything has to get pushed back evenly. So that takes time and effort, which, like I said, most colors, they don't want to do all that shit. You got to beat them. You got to beat them with the log.
He who can draw us at Top Cow left Image for a few years, then came back. Yep. I don't even think it was a few years.
Like a month.
Yeah, like it was very short. I think Michael Turner was Frage's best man at his first wedding. Could have been. I have to ask him. I know that they were extremely tight. Hey.
Oh, yeah. Top Cow left Image because Rob was trying to hire away Mike Turner. But really, Rob didn't do anything wrong. I know Mark Silvestri, at least my understanding is, you know, Mark Silvestri had a hair up his butt because he didn't have Michael Turner underneath an exclusive contract. So Michael Turner was a freelance artist that was free to go unless we endorse slavery. I don't think we do. Yeah. So he was an artist that was free to go and work wherever the hell he wanted. And Rob was trying to offer Mike Turner an offer he couldn't refuse. And then Mark Silvestri didn't like that. And he's like, well, I don't like this guy trying to give my guy a better pay rate. I'm going to leave if you guys don't get rid of Rob. So, that kind of factored in on getting rid of Rob. But, it was only later on that exclusive contracts became the norm. But it's like, look, man, you want to hold on to somebody for their lifetime, I guess. Well, you better be offering them more money than the next guy. Otherwise, slavery ain't cool. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and then Turner and Silvestri had an issue over Fathom. I'm pretty sure there was a lawsuit that was,
yeah.
I
think he had to drop the name and rename it all into Aspen or whatever, right? So,
did you show the work that Platt is doing recently? I haven't shown anything, because we're pretty much wrapping it up here with Soul Saga, but the stuff he's coming out with, is highly detailed. It's just not quite the same, because he I don't know. I just want to point this out there, John.
It's not for me.
Just want to point this out. You were talking about it. Tiny little, I don't know, you can't pick it up here. A tiny little breakup of these panels. A little bit of a white outline. Make it come out a little bit.
It just blends into like the artwork. You're like, oh, are there red holes in the wall with light coming out? Because you don't automatically say, oh, okay, these are panels going on here. So I just look at things like a retard, and I'm like, what's the simplest way to get people through this stuff? So
I found my baseball.
That's you gotta do it that way, because not everybody that's reading the comic book is going to have your in-depth knowledge as a creator.
Yeah, you don't want an eye to struggle, unless that's your intent, is to always make the eye struggle in certain spots, because there could be a reason to do that, kind of some kind of extra level where you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm trying to play mind games here on the reader. But for the most part, I mean, that's why we use panel borders, and we generally have a white gutter in between them. So you clearly go from panel to panel to panel. Your eye can kind of take it all in instead of as just one combined image.
Yeah. The glare. These are very glossy pages.
That guy doesn't want that dude to live. Saying it right there. He's like,
prejudice there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Good stuff.
Steampunk was hard as shit to read for this very reason. Like the tattoo on the dude. I'll never draw a tattoo on a character.
Oh, dude, he's tribal, man.
Yeah. Too hard to draw it the same way every single time. Screw that. Unless it's something very simple like a heart, with a sword going through it. I could do that.
I hate tattoos. It's got to be super meaningful to you because it's super meaningful to them. And you're just like, shut up. Here's your armband. Barbed wire.
Oh, that dude just killed that baby.
Oh,
did he?
And he walks up to him and then blam, blam.
With the sword?
He's got a gun in his hand. You can't see because it's all shadow. But,
yeah. That would have been good information to know.
Pretty dark.
Yeah, they could have just put slice there. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah. It would have been easier. That's really nice. Again, the colorist probably did all this. I don't know if that's drawn in there or not.
Yeah. And, good ship design. You got to give it up for that.
Yeah. Yeah, his sci-fi designs in this entire book were top-notch.
Yeah, he's not just like phoning in 2001 a monolith. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you could. He's not.
Cartoon exaggeration with detail rendering like 90s artists. That's Steven's style. Kaboom!
That was a great book.
Kaboom. Or you can just get the crow.
True.
Son of a.
True.
Oh, Eve. That's their in-house book, I think it was,
Mhm.
wasn't it?
Stormworks.
Batteries not included.
Oh, that sounds fun. These are very sticky pages, I swear.
Mm-hmm. Look at that axe.
Yeah, it's badass.
Yeah, that's a really cool page.
Yeah, some inspiring stuff, guys.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I think it's important to look back at some of this fantastic work that was done, at least for creators. Because I get inspired anytime I get back into this mindset, I should say,
Yeah.
of seeing this stuff.
This
So what a comic could look
40K
like.
stuff, that's at Warhammer, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of that is pulling from Rob. So, I mean, Rob brought in like these big, armored up guys like Cable, and he was doing all that stuff first. Other people kind of carried it on, like Platt. But yeah, I think that Warhammer stuff, probably were, people that were influenced by Rob's work, or wherever Rob was pulling his influences at the time, like from Japan. So, but big shoulder pads, big armored guys that are 10 feet tall, like that's his trope. As much as pouches are.
I love the heavy shadow on this. I don't know why, but there's something about like the heavy blacked out shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Very moody.
Yeah. They look
And it says,
fantastic.
next issue, truths revealed. And we will never find out what those truths are.
He couldn't figure them out either.
Who you calling a fairy? Soul Saga 6.
Oh, that's bigotry.
I was just gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
Classic.
Such a nest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find issue 6. Somebody said that Comixology has it. Might have to.
Can you order a hard copy, or would it be a digital?
You know what? I'm gonna look it up right now. Hold on a second. We'll figure this out. Soul Saga 6.
I got the video of him drawing. You want me to try to pull that up?
Yeah, go
Or
ahead.
he might get nuked.
Nuked.
Whatever they say.
No, not for a drawing video. Is it like at a convention?
No, it's his gnome video. Like it's a legit video.
Oh yeah, that one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here.
If it's not on YouTube, don't. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do it.
Why is that? What's going on here? Why won't that share? What is?
No shit.
There's some different layouts, but anyway. Yeah, so
99 cents.
99 cents for the digital copy.
Yeah, that's the cheapest you'll get it.
Yeah, if anybody wants to read it, there it is on Comixology. I'm gonna buy this.
Well,
I'm gonna buy it and check it out.
Flip through it right now. Let's see it.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me take it off so you don't see my all my info. And I'll do this. All right.
Micro says, "Yeah, it makes me sad to hear Splat has become generic. Yeah, just someone that's not, passionate for the work anymore. So, but I think if he ever decided to really get back into comics and embrace them, and maybe as a retirement thing, he could probably do something fantastic. Just depends. Some people lose it; they don't get it back.
And look, just because you're mad at your boss or your former boss, don't take it out on the fans and not sign a book that put you where you are. Don't be that.
Oh,
be grateful. Be grateful.
Wait, what's the story on that?
He won't do a profit commission or sign any profit, maybe even like extreme related books.
Right. Oh, because he's so mad at Rob?
Yeah.
Why? Because he didn't get his $40,000 when he brought in a inker?
Just don't be a cunt to the
my
fans.
guess. That would be my guess.
I know they got some bad blood, but I'm not sure why.
Probably because it's probably to the tune of $40,000 per comic. Guys, look, man. When you put down $40,000 worth of money on somebody, and then all of a sudden they, for whatever reason, maybe it's Platt's fault. Maybe he can't deliver, and now he needs an inker. And now, as getting an inker, now that might mean, well, sorry, we're gonna have to take away some of that 40 grand. And then it's like, what? That's my 40 grand. And it's like, well, you're not inking anymore, and that's what we offered you the money for. So that might be something that could have possibly happened. On the other hand, it could have been Rob and the industry collapsing, and Rob saying, I can't afford to pay you $40,000 a comic because we're not turning that kind of profit around.
Yeah, that probably definitely.
Yeah, there's going to be two different point of views to that.
Literally.
Sure. And I could be completely off base. I mean,
sure.
Duke could have stole his beer one night at a party. I don't know.
Micro said Rob and Splat were fighting on Twitter about a year ago. Splat is still pissed Rob wouldn't let him do a book he wanted to do. Rob said there was no way he was going to let Splat put out a tapestry as a comic book. Interesting. So here we go. This is Soul Saga 6. 99 cents, guys. You can go get it if you want. We got same crew. Bat's doing the only inks on this. But this is penciled by Platt, Dan Norton, and
very similar intro.
Yeah. Yeah, everything's pretty much the same. Yeah, good stuff.
That was great.
That's cool. This is the first time I've seen this.
I've seen the bootleg, but
I haven't seen any of this. This is brand new for me. Oh, that's sick. That's nice.
Yep. There's a colorist pushing the buildings back again.
Oh, that is nice. Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, that's kind of an example because I've seen that in the black and white too, but like kind of what you were talking about, Sean, about whether or not knocking all that black out, does that harm the image? And you lose that beautiful contrast of that nice jet black ink, but I mean the depth that gets created by doing those color holds on top of that, like, for me, I would say again, when it's executed like this, it's definitely worth it. So
love the scenery back here.
But at the same time, if you have really fantastic inks, at some point, people put out a black and white edition. That's good to see as well. But me personally, I'm it's really about the finished product for me.
Yeah, that's really pretty. Oh, okay. I always wondered where that image was from. I've seen it around, but I never saw it in a book. Okay.
Well, here you go, buddy.
That's sick. That's badass. Yeah, I like that a lot. Nice. Yeah, again, I'm blown away on the colors. It makes it look so real as a comic book could get. Like that's what a comic should look like.
Yeah, look at those veins.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Jeez. I want a flying horse one day. I'm afraid of heights, though. I don't know how that's going to work out.
That's not going to work out too good.
Yeah. And it's kind of like a homage back to Prophet 5, I think. That's pretty cool.
Noah says, I think I might like this Platt more than his Prophet stuff. No, he said something else.
What do you say?
No, my bad. I was going to say, like, I feel like we're bringing Noah to the strip club for the first time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is about as much as refined as you want to get, really, if you're Stephen Platt.
This might be Ollie.
Yeah, I'd say this is where it changes here. So we'll see if there's any more.
Oh, now he just brought someone in to finish it for him.
Yeah, we'll see if there's any more Platt in here.
There's a page.
Yeah, that's Platt on the right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, man, that's sick. Very epic, like
Lord of the Rings
kind of feel.
You shall not pass.
Yeah. But like with a sci-fi feel. Yeah, this book was very cool. Very cool. I didn't really read it. I just looked at the art.
Because why?
Because who wants to read?
I can't read. But yeah, that's it, guys. That was so that's Soul Saga 6. First time I got a chance to look at that.
Did he
Pretty
ever
badass.
lay out how many issues he wanted to do, or was it just gonna be an ongoing?
Yeah, I don't know.
That I don't
I'm
know.
not sure on that one.
Mm.
I think I might like Platt more. Oh, that's what you were talking about. Yeah, I bet that would be hard to read in black and white.
Could be
Just use the shadows. They use the. Oh.
for crippled, right? Oh yeah, just like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, there you go. Completely strap you in and lock you down. Fear won't
Sounds
matter.
like a
man.
good time.
I like it. Xanax. Yes.
All right.
Yes. That page is epic. Absolutely. That book would have been when Lord of the Rings came out, probably inspiration. That's what I was thinking. It's got a very Peter Jackson kind of style feel to some of the stuff he was doing.
When did the first Lord of the Rings come out?
2000?
Was it? Okay.
2000, 2001?
Oh, one, yeah.
Yeah. It's when you think about it, it's crazy it was that long ago. Whoops.
Oh, I was like, what the?
Stop screen share. There we go.
Someone's hopping in.
It's like secret guest.
Like, hey, old dirty fatty. What's going on?
Go.
Oh, yeah. That was extremely fun, guys. I know we spent a little bit more time talking about Liquid than we did Platt there for a while, but some fantastic art.
Yeah, no, I mean, like that's really great art that where he ended up in Soul Saga. It lacked a lot of the energy. I'd kind of like to see a lot more of, I don't know, the equivalent of the bullet shells flinging around.
Yeah.
Just because he was really good at kind of keeping that motion in. But like even in there, you know, it's like it didn't have, I don't know if there were any speed lines or anything, you know, it seemed to be just very much more kind of, and that was kind of the way it was going because of like, I think probably around that time, Brian Hitch, Ultimates, whatever, you know, like now everybody wanted to do more photo real, you know, you can't do speed balloons, you can't do thought balloons, or I'm sorry, speed lines or thought balloons. And, you know, so all that kind of disappeared for a little bit. You know, bands didn't want to do lead guitar anymore, you know, and just it was all the riff. So, you know, there's a time, you know, where all that stuff kind of was shunned. And I think that is probably what happened. But it gives for a very clean look. It's a very nice look. I'm not poo-pooing it. But just in comparison to, you know, that amount of energy that we saw in that early Prophet stuff is just like, you know, there's night and day on the energy level. But a lot of beauty, but a lot of that beauty also came from, you know, the Liquid guys making that stuff work. Because again, if you had a weak colorist go in there, they wouldn't have pulled off those warms as well or those blues as well. It wouldn't have had that cinematic feel as well. And now all of a sudden, if you don't have that great colorist, you kind of have something that just kind of falls a little flat. So, you know, kudos to Lichtner.
Yeah, a colorist is like a drummer. You know, a great drummer is going to make a band. A weaker drummer isn't going to make the rest of the band as good as it could be. And that's a perfect example right there. You had a really fantastic team of Platt and Bat and Weems and some of these other guys that were inking them, but the colors came through and just put an amazing palette, brought it all together, and took it to another level.
Here.
Yep. Luke said the way the industry is today, it doesn't deserve a talent like Stephen Platt.
Old Platt, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe the Soul Saga Platt, you know.
Okay.
If you've seen some of the newer stuff, that Detective Comics Batman cover he did was
that head was wild.
Like the head was a weird shape.
Yeah.
It's I don't know.
The color palette was just off.
Yeah, that was odd. Like the old stuff, the old Platt, the energy of Prophet was amazing. You know, when he started doing more David Finch, he cleaned up his lines a lot, but he still had some really, really great, amazing detail. So that stuff is fun. Nowadays, you can tell he's been out of the industry. And, you know, show up, please. I haven't seen it.
Wait, what?
We have the technology.
Anytime someone asks me to show it,
whip it out.
I wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have PayPal. Times are tough.
Times are tough.
Not if you're Lucas Meyer, the winner of the Godlike Art Contest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, congratulations to him.
By the
There was a
way,
lot of talent.
yes,
A lot of guys that
$3,000.
came out was like, holy hell, who's that? Inspiring.
$3,000 for Christmas.
Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
See, you
Yeah,
put
John,
the work in.
how
You put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about.
Yeah, you put the work in.
how pleasantly surprised were you to see all that great work?
Well, it's good. It's good to see that people want to draw. You know, I was thinking about that. I'm like all these years I've been in comics, I don't know if there's ever been like a serious publisher just doing an art contest. Like, why not? Why
Not for what
like,
you're doing.
Why not give like, you know, even little kids something to strive for? Little children like 7 and 9. I don't know if you guys saw his page or not, but he entered.
I saw a lot of the pages.
The guy's
I can't remember.
He's only 14 years old. Maybe 8 if you go by the drawing.
Oof. What are we talking about here? Whip it out. Is that what
7
we're
and
talking
9.
about? Oh, I'm looking forward to the next contest with Graveyard Shift.
Yeah, so I'm also going to have to come up with some different rules because I don't want people doing like little NFT things like, oh, I changed the belt in each one of these. So I'm entering 4 times. So I think that next one will only have 1 entry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sneaky.
Maybe.
Yeah, so you guys can like just even a quick glance, and again, perfectly fine. But like the exaggeration and the thighs is gone here. Remember how it was from the Prophet stuff, tiny knees. I mean, this is David Finch with a little bit of a different, very subtly different rendering style.
Yeah.
But you see, like, what do we got here? Like, look at this guy's head at the very bottom of the page. Like, he doesn't have like a back of his skull
right here.
Yeah.
Like there's like the whole back of his head is cut off. Like, what happened there? Am I looking at that weirdly somehow, or is that just what he drew?
It's a weird perspective. Yeah, like this is gone.
Yeah.
I know
it's almost like
it's
almost like his head was sawed in half right here, like vertically. You know, like the whole back end is completely out of there.
Like cool rendering and
Batman's
detail, but that is trash.
The face is pretty terrible. So coloring, I like that kind of warm push on the face and his shoulder, but
there's a few really good things about this and a few really odd things about it. This is
there's no tattered cape.
Yeah.
No tattered legs.
It's funny because he went in and did all the wear and tear on the supposed armor that he's wearing, which has always been kind of one of his staples, and maybe he took that from Finch. I don't know. But this was I saw that came out like what 2 years ago, last year. I can't remember.
But like, there's one face you really had to nail on this drawing, and that one face is Batman. Like,
and you messed that up.
Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I give it like a 6.8.
Yeah, it's Detective Comics.
So,
what number? It's one of the variant covers for all the different Detective Comics that came out that year. Maybe like 1027.
Yeah, and that's kind of with all the variants. Like, does it really matter at some point? You used to be able to look at something and be like, oh yeah, that'd be issue whatever, 231. I don't know. Now it's like maybe it was like 231C.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, welcome, Phil. Yeah, that was Jon Malin, Batman.
Yeah, that's the Elephant Man. Yeah.
Oh, ew, gross. Yeah, 6 head. Yep. Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed.
Yeah, bad head on bad head on Batman, bad head on the little guy down there.
Yeah.
The legs, I mean, I guess everything illustrated well. Almost I kind of get like almost like a Boland feel. But then like the colorist again did the thing and pushed the statue stuff back.
Yeah.
So good job on that too.
What's going on, Bullet Ninja? Yeah, I see people say that all the time for odd stuff and for this channel. Yeah, hit that bell for notifications, but still sometimes I wonder. It doesn't pop up. Rick says that also. He's like, I didn't get the notification. The face looks just like J. Scott lift Yeah, could be. It could be.
Yeah, or Adams, even like Art Adams, like see a little bit of that in there too. But like somewhere where I would have considered doing a little bit of a probably a subtle hold is on the bad guy between the bad guy's legs, like in the bottom right corner.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, just to push that guy back a little bit, I think that would have helped a little bit.
Down here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he kind of does just blend in until you pointed that out. Yep.
Yeah.
Big ass sack of balls.
It's just for the depth. You know what I mean? Like it's just to push these things because that's like a thing we can do. Is because we're working in on paper. Like I had shown this one piece from Godlike that is colored, and like as it goes back, it's being more and more being pushed back into depth. So we like when we have some characters that are just 3 characters from the foreground, they're getting a screen of white or yellow or whatever the case may be. They're getting a screen pushed over them. And it might only be like a 10% screen layer. Then as we go back a little further, a couple more figures, now we're going to put in another thing. And it's subtle. It's not always night and day. Sometimes it's just a subtle push. Now you get a 10% more of a push back on the next group of characters that are further back. And then by the time you get all the way back to the cityscape, you're looking at, I don't know, like a 50% screen just to keep the cityscape, which is in the background, at further back than everything else. And that creates depth. So it's just like when you're looking at mountains off in the distance and everything starts fading out and further and back it goes. You do that, but you do that with figures, and you can do that with figures that are standing right next to each other. You just do it very subtly. Find ways of just knocking that line art out just a little bit and just give it a little bit of a push.
Yeah,
That's
it does
awesome.
allow you to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it allows you to do a lot of stuff. Checkpoint said, but imagine how messy it is without the color. But that's kind of the point, is that the color can come in there and really make things pop and push things the way they need to. So you could draw it as much as you want, and the colors can come in and do a great job.
Yeah. Well, the thing too, like, is about the color though, is like on here, like everything's all blue. Like it might as well just all be white. Like I mean, other than the background, the characters, like Batman and the bad guys go to the same suit outfitters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you like black? Well, these guys like black too. Whereas, you think about in terms of comic books, which were traditionally at least colorful costumes. I'm still a big fan of put Batman in a blue, in the blue cowl, blue underwear, blue boots. What's all this black? Everything's got to be black now
For justice.
But yeah, get them back in those colors and give them a yellow belt with a yellow symbol up on there. Whatever, fuck it. Little hits of color, man. Like the name of the game is some kind of dynamic here. And I feel like when we get stuff like this, it's just being done for television or for movies.
I don't see anybody credited on this. I almost wonder if Platt did this entire thing himself.
Could be.
Good.
That could.
Why not? He's only doing one thing a year.
Yeah.
Or a decade. I don't know. So.
Eddie Winkler said, try following current day continuity. Terrible. We get new volumes of issues so often that it makes it hard to find the issues you need, especially since each volume has the same amount of issues.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's like my day one as editor-in-chief at Marvel is put everything back, put a line that builds completely off of the old lines. You can still have your stories that are kind of in an Elseworlds type situation, but you got to have that numbering. So you pick the numbering up from whatever it was, Avengers, I don't fucking know. Say 500, Avengers 500. So if we stopped at 500, then we'd start back up at 501. And that is the one true main Avengers line from here to Doomsday. So that means you have to get people like Tom Brevoort now have purpose again, because that was his original purpose, was he was actually the nerdy kid who had read all the books and he had all that encyclopedic knowledge. He's useless now because you don't need anything more than a 2-year short-term memory before everything's going to get rebooted and nothing matters anymore. But if you got a line that goes all the way back to the fucking 70s, and you pick that thing up and you pick the stories up from that point. So everything that happened from the point beyond, everything matters again. and now you build all the news stories up there. Yes, there's definitely going to be a point where someone's going to read through it, and all of a sudden everything's computer colored and very, this highfalutin different style, and it's going to be night and day. Just going to have to live with it. But at least you have that one story continuity going through there. So, I mean, I guess arguably you could actually craft it to where it'd be a little bit more of a transition. You could go like a couple issues where maybe it's just working in the computer coloring, and then all of a sudden it starts going into full on computer coloring. Like you could actually do that a little bit. If you wanted to give that a go, you could give that a go. But I think that was kind of like the value of like the comic book stores, is that you could go into a comic shop and you say, oh, okay, I'm reading 520 of this book. Let me see what I can find in the back issues. And now all of a sudden people are pulling the back issues out. So you have to have that. It has to matter on some level, or it doesn't fucking matter at all. So reboot everything back to where it was. So you take your main lines, you take Avengers, you take Spider-Man, you take X-Men, everything back to their main lines, run it off like they never stopped. And anytime you want to do these, hey, we need a new number one. Okay, go make a number one. But we would count it as an Elseworlds at all times, which is fine. I mean, something like, I don't know, Old Man Logan, I guess.
Right.
Like you can do that story any day. I'd buy it. It's great.
Yeah. So what you're saying is Tom Brevoort needs to be fired, because that's what I heard.
Well, he needs to be fired, but they need. I'm hesitant to say anybody ever needs to be fired, because I don't want to participate in like the cancel culture. I've said it even years ago. I said put him in the mail room, let him bring people coffee. But if you got rid of Tom Brevoort, you would have to bring in somebody that is the new Tom Brevoort, someone who's read everything from the 1970s on through, and he's fucking annoying. But he's right, like he's gonna. You can't do that because in issue 320, Captain America flung his. Like, okay, all right, So, but that's gonna make for it's not gonna be a perfect thing. I don't know. If, I'm sure there were contradictions, along the way, but at least get it close.
Any nerd from the Poughkeepsie Comic Con could do that job. Like, come on, get that fucker.
Yeah, demoted, Lord Kraken. Yeah, demoted.
Yeah. Done.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah, or just bring him back to like a assistant editor, something. Because like the thing with Tom Brevoort, like the real problem with Tom Brevoort is like the danger of his ideology getting into things like Marvel. So, like you have who is it, the Mandarin, and Tom Brevoort, who runs the Avengers office, doesn't want to use the Mandarin because he thinks it's yellow peril. Like, oh, this thing is just, it's a caricature. It's out here to make fun of and incite violence against like, whatever, Chinese, and it's like, no, man, it's just a fucking character, and he's fucking cool. And how you have to deal with a character like the Mandarin is you embrace him and you just make him fucking evil. And that's it. And Tom Brevoort, actually, his ideology will not let him get past that. Like he will not use the Mandarin in a way that would probably make him a great villain again. Like it would just be some kind of token shit. Now, unless he's being told that you have to use the Mandarin, but he said on Twitter, 2 years ago, like that's a character he can't see ever using because he doesn't know how he would do it. And I'm telling you have to embrace it. But that's him. Essentially, in my mind, if I was EIC, that's him giving me his resignation. Oh, you don't know how to make a bad guy a bad guy?
Right.
You're out of here because your ideology is getting in the way of making great comic books right now. So, that's the problem with Tom Brevoort. Otherwise, he, as an editor, he's probably just fine. And as that encyclopedic knowledge, I'm sure he may be as sharp as he ever was.
Yeah, that's one of the huge problems. Like Jeremy said, they pull the culture appropriation card every single time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the only bad guys that are allowed to be bad guys now are white males.
Yep,
that's it.
Yep.
You can't fuck around with anybody else. Otherwise, you could offend somebody.
That's right. Sometimes you're just gonna have to offend people.
Yep, that's what we're all about here.
It's about creativity, man. Just tell the story. Don't take everybody's fucking bait, their race baiting shit.
Yeah. Damn motherfuckers. All right, guys, this has been a fun show. We're a little bit past midnight. We're gonna start shutting this down. John, how is Godlike coming along, and what are you up to lately?
Oh, it's good, but more so, I was up to the art contest this week, and trying to make sure everything's running, coming in on time. I pretty much sold everybody that's working for me to take this holiday off if they want. I don't want people working during Christmas. I want everybody to
Very nice.
relax, be with their family. But I also told them, I said, but if you want to work and keep rolling, fine, I'm fine with that too. So come next Monday, I'll find out whoever decided to do what. It doesn't matter to me because I think we're on track. But other than that, I got to be sure that after the holiday that we stay on track and keep everything rolling. So we have a good, successful launch in early January for Graveyard Shift 4. So we have about 1,300 people signed up on there right now. So if you guys haven't signed up on the Graveyard Shift mailing list, do it now. It's the only mailing list that we're going to have for Graveyard Shift for the entire 2022 year. But we are going to try to get Graveyard Shift Volume 4 and 5 launched next year. So if you sign up now, you are on the mailing list for both of these campaigns. One is a definite, the other is a potential. So get on there. There won't be another chance to sign up for it. So once we lock down this mailing list, that's it. Those people, right now it's 1,300. 1,300 will be locked down on the mailing list. They're going to save a lot of money on the mailing list, just like our last mailing list backers did. And also they're going to get a exclusive foil trading card as well.
Nice.
It'll be built into all their perks. So when they make their order, they'll be getting an exclusive trading card.
I cannot wait for this fucking book, man. This is so exciting. This shit looks great.
Yeah, I'm really excited, man. And Jose Garcia, the artist for Graveyard Shift, he just sent me I was like, hey, we're getting near the finish line. He just sent me I don't know, 8 more pages. He just did them. He's like, hey man, here's a scene I'd like to do.
Nice.
He's like, what do you think? And I was like, oh, actually it looks cool. Boom. So we just extend it. You know what I mean? So I'm glad to be working with people that are actually thinking. But he's not just he didn't just pitch it. He wanted to show me, here. So basically I bought the scene, so,
that's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, we've gone back in even since the script and added in extra pages to kind of extend a little scene here, give a little bit more there. So, I mean, it's very kind of organic. And I think from that is when he said, oh, well, let me see if I can get 8 more pages past John. Cool. And he did. So, I'd love it when people are thinking and they're actually motivated to say, hey, you know what might make this a little bit cooler. So, that's what he did. And, kudos for that. And I'm really excited for everybody to check out what he's doing. And once we get 4 out of the way, we're looking to fast track 5 and 6. Yeah. So, Jasper, we are trying to get Jose on board for this entire series. So
nice.
All the entire main book. So right now, I think we're looking at Volume 4 being about, I hate to say it, I think it's 60 some pages.
What?
So,
wow.
Yeah. Cool.
So we've gone from 48 and we just kept ballooning it. So I think
nice.
I think we're at 60. I think it's over 60 pages now. So that's how big the book's going to be. And Volume 5 and 6, if we can maintain our sales level, and I've told everybody the number we need to hit is 250. But if we can get past that, I'm looking at Volume 5 and 6 as possibly being 70, in the range of 70 pages themselves. So,
nice.
Yeah. So there's a lot of story we want to tell, and I'm really trying to wrap it. As we've always said we wanted to wrap it at 6 volumes, this first big arc. So, in order to do that, we're going to have to extend the pages, just to get in what we want to get in. So if not, then worst case scenario, we extend it out to a 7th volume campaign. But I think 70 pages, if we can keep these sales numbers up, I think 70 pages for the next campaign is probably going to be happening, and maybe each one after. But again, that 250, that's our bare minimum mark. We have to hit that 250 mark because we're doing a lot, man. The Phil Diaz story, that one, that was another one. It was scripted at 20 some pages, and then it we're like, okay, well, there's room for more here. So I told Phil early on, I'm like, look, if you want to do an extension, we'll talk about that. And so we ended up doing an extension. That thing extended out to 48 pages, I believe.
Wow.
So, and then I was already working on a project with Tommy, who did the art for the Phil's story. And the story I've been doing with Tommy, that's like 50 some pages. So,
Wait, is this going to be like individual books, like how you had your supplemental, like individual supplemental books?
So the plan right now is that Phil Diaz's story is going to be the supplemental in this Volume 4 campaign.
Okay.
I was considering to make a stretch goal. It might be like a 300,000 stretch goal. As long as we can get the work done, because Tommy's still drawing it. The colorist is working on it right now. But if they can get that where I feel comfortable, I can put that in as a $300,000 stretch goal, and I would probably just drop it all into the same supplemental book with Phil's. So that would now become a 100-page, almost 100-page supplemental book.
Good Lord.
So,
wow.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. I think it'd be right over 100 pages for the supplemental book. So that would be people would be getting 100 pages for $25 if we can get up to like that 300,000 mark. But it also the work has to be done, because I won't do it right now. I won't say that right now.
Right.
Because if they're falling behind, because this is all meant to go to print almost at the exact moment that we hit campaign close.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to have anybody, well, we're just waiting 5 more weeks, guys, because something happened and now we're behind. So I don't want that to happen. So it'll probably be maybe a last minute stretch goal.
Yeah, a lot of people excited about hearing that.
Yeah, so if that falls apart, then what we'll do is we'll just take that 56 page and then we'll move it into the next one, which may be accompanied even with another supplemental story. So, like I said, there's a lot of opportunity as long as we can maintain that 250 mark. So, when we do this campaign, I hope everyone backs it big and gets us up to 250, good, solid close. And then, we can do it again. We can definitely do it again. And in terms of a lot of front investment on this, so it's not cheap. But trying to make a great book, man, and trying to drive costs down, and I got a lot of plans. I said it the other day, and I mean it. When people are talking about cancel culture, you can have a show like Friday Night Tights where you solve absolutely nothing, but you complain about it all the time, or you can start creating jobs for people. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to create jobs for people. So through the Graveyard Shift, through Godlike, through the Visions book. The Visions book alone is, like I said earlier, it's 40 some odd artists, and all this stuff. It's a big show right now, and right now it's still just me running it. So it takes a lot, man, and it's a lot of time, it's a lot of energy to keep everything on track and try to make sure that I'm pulling the best out of everybody, from script to lettering, like front to back, everything, colors, everything. So that takes a lot of time and energy, and then also being up on these streams, so tonight's a drawing night. Here I am.
So you get ready to smoke up?
Yeah, I am ready to smoke up, and then I'll be sitting down and trying to get at least a few hours in. I'm going to start a new page tonight for Godlike, and
nice.
It's fun too, man, because I just love it. I love working on it, and it's almost like, because I have everything laid out from front to back, but when I go into the next page, I'm like, all right, where is this going to take me? This week. What new little element can I add that I hadn't thought of when I did the layout here? Is there a little beat, a little extra something I can put in there just to make this a little bit better? And that's kind of the excitement, because I'm and Ethan talks about it too. I'm kind of writing the next draft as I'm drawing. So, and I had to be careful, because when I started scripting all this out and or laying it out, I was like, oh my God, I'm ballooning out. I'm going up to 70 pages. I can't do that. Because I know there's no way in hell I can make that schedule. You know what I mean? Like, I can definitely do it, but I can't make that schedule at all. So I'm like, okay, I have to make decisions here while I'm in the layout phase on what's going to be realistic for me to get to and still tell, hopefully, an engaging enough story for people to go along and get into the second book. Which right now looks like the second book is going to be a huge fucking battle.
Nice.
But there's so much I want to set up, and I need time. I need time for a scene to to have, certain beats, a little bit of motion to it. So as I go to them, I will probably still be extending a little bit, but I'm trying really hard to keep it really close to 50 pages, just because I don't want to run into that thing where I'm like, well, I know the story needs this. I will just use that in the second book. So I'll do my best to make this first book as great as it can be, and then I will continue the story into the second book. So, but I'm also hoping that I just keep rolling. Like after I'm done with this, because again, good habit of drawing is, hey, I got to do 2 pages a week. So if you got to do 2 pages, just keep that habit up of doing 2 pages a week. So like my week is kind of broken down. Like I do the King show with Ethan on Monday, Jack show Thursday, Camel Moon Friday night. But basically Tuesday and Wednesday are draw nights. Whatever time on the weekend I can get is, hopefully wrap it up night. So
Right.
We'll see. But yeah, it could take about 4 nights to do 2 pages for me. Just by the way that I work, I'm not doing 12 hours. I'm smoking weed. I'm giving it a go, giving it a good first push, and then trying to brush it all up.
Whatever, Rob.
Whatever.
Noah was asking a sneak
Rob,
peek
no,
if you had any-
John, represent America. Represent America right now.
and
Show us
Rob's
the
trying to say
sneaky.
you only show the secret stuff on his channel.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it, because I'm such a slob on what I got. I think it's still in my downloads folder. Oh, I'm looking at like 100 of these drawing contests right now. Let me see.
Should we stand up and do the national anthem when he, I would be down for that.
Okay,
Let's do it.
oh, that's the
You
before. Okay, this is what I showed on Rob's channel. So,
All right.
this is godlike. There we go.
Oh shit.
So there you go. So you can see the characters, how they get kind of pushed into the back. See how we got our blacks up front here? And then even on this knee pad, that's already pushed back a layer or two. You can see the guy right here, he's pushed back a layer or two. This guy is also pushed back another layer. This guy and these people are pushed back even another. You can even see on this rebel that he's standing on, look how pushed back that is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm talking about. These guys are pushed back here, and then the buildings are even pushed back even more. So that's what I'm talking about in terms of that coloring technique from earlier. But also, like, it's one thing to talk it, guys. It's another thing to apply it. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to be conscious, that you're really trying to do exactly what you think like
Right.
a lot of people say, oh, you do this, and then you see their work, and then it doesn't reflect that at all. It's like, oh, where's all the debt? You have to have those conscious decisions while you're doing this stuff. So even with things like the drawing, like I know what I want to accomplish, but then I may find out that when I'm doing this, I'm like, hey, this is not exactly what I was saying I wanted to get, so you have to make that conscious choice to go back in there and make sure you're pulling out what you want to get pulled out with everything. So
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
The designs, the characters, the moments, all that stuff. But yeah, so that's godlike, and I'm working on I got another double pager I just wrapped yesterday. Actually, I think I did that last night or this morning. I wrapped it. And now I'm gonna roll right back into it. So two pages or one double page, because they're laid out there as 2 pages, but they're on double page. Everything is a double page spread.
Right.
So that's my goal as well, is to keep that kind of going on with all the different panels. Pull out people. Ann Arbor
hippies.
Nice.
Yep.
That's true.
God bless America.
That looks awesome.
But yeah, so I hope everyone supports godlike when we come out with that campaign again, because that is like very near and dear to me, because I'm writing the story, I'm drawing the story, but then we also have supplemental materials where we have like Von Klaus is doing a story, Mark Polton. You guys can't back it. It's closed, so I'm not trying to sell you on it. I am legitimately excited for it. But what you can back is Graveyard Shift. So we're going to launch that in about 3 weeks. So get on that mailing list, and you guys are going to be able to see all that great Jose Garcia artwork, Phil Diaz writing for the supplemental, Tommy Patterson, Jimmy Reyes on inks. Anthony George, who is my Graveyard Shift colorist, is now going to color all of Tommy's work.
Nice.
For that supplemental for the Brahm story. So yeah, we're keeping people busy, and but we need you guys to keep going out there and supporting these projects in order to keep giving all these people all this work, because otherwise it can't happen. But yeah, we're also looking to do another art contest as well. So we hope that the winner's prize will get maybe even beyond $3,000. You know, I'd love to see that thing hit like $4,000 or $5,000 and just become a monster. Yeah. So, you know, because we do them as stretch goals. So for all the money we raise, whatever, we drop in like another $500. Then we raise more money, drop in another $500. So the pot just keeps growing. So really that ends up being up to all you guys on how high that pot gets. Yeah, but you guys are going to get something for it too. Ideally, if Tommy can finish that work, and if Snakebite can finish the colors on that Omega story, that thing could very well become possibly a $300,000 stretch goal. And then we could get that entire story thrown in, and you guys would benefit immensely from that. And then the art contest gets more funds as well. So everybody wins. Like, now I'm trying very hard to make sure everybody's getting a piece of the pie here, one way or another. I mean, we even did like the golden tickets. You know, we put out 5 tickets. Each one was worth $500. This year, I put out 5 new ones. Only 2 people ever claimed them. There's 3 golden tickets just sitting out there. Yeah, that have never been claimed. They're just in someone's box or in their sleeve. Or they never opened the book. Bastards. So, well, whatever, you know. But that kind of convinced me. I'm like, well, maybe I should just focus on the art contest. You know, because I don't want to have a whole bunch of golden tickets just sitting out there unclaimed, and then all of a sudden people find them one day and say, and then I got like a $5,000 bill, so whatever. So I might just keep putting the money into the art contest. So I think that's a lot of fun, and maybe I'll find a way of maybe putting up a second prize or something like that, so people start getting another taste. But that one winner take all prize, that's great, man. Like that number, when it's big, like it excites people. And yeah, we got a lot of people, and that was crazy. So 90 applicants, I think it was 90 drawings. So like I said, some people entered multiple things with just slight differences. So yeah, what was that?
Yeah, I do you.
Yeah, I'd rather do the art contest. It's better for everyone.
Yeah, well, it's not better for the people who do receive the golden ticket. You know, I mean, those guys are getting $500. But yeah, so whatever. I'm just trying to keep this stuff fun, and you know, like, should we start hitting the $300,000 mark? I think that's just, we're talking like things are going to get insane. Like I've always wanted to do, like the treasure map, you know, like geocaching, things like that, and start working out like a book, which is all clues, and you would have to go through all the different Graveyard Shift books, and possibly now Godlike, and through all that stuff, you would find, you know, maybe, I don't know, $5,000 laying in the woods somewhere. You know what I mean? So, you know, these are things that I want to do, but you know, it's going to be a process. I know everyone thinks I'm bloody rich, but believe me, I'm paying a lot of people a lot of money to make all this shit happen. Not to mention all the production stuff and like printing and shipping, and so I mean,
a lot back.
It gets crazy. It gets crazy. So, but yeah, I mean, do I benefit? Absolutely, but so do a lot of other people, and it's all thanks to you guys. So
it's good business.
You know, keep it up. Thank you. Appreciate all you guys.
Awesome. Sean,
yo,
do your thing.
Oh yeah,
before we get out of here.
Sean Ahrendt, find me. That's all it is. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Type 1 mail-in list is launching end of January. Going to lock down those details. Probably the last Friday. Whatever's best for me and Joe. And then, just working on Type 1. Having a lot of fun doing it. And thank you for everybody that's believed in both Joe and I this past year. We are so grateful to you all.
Absolutely. You guys have been amazing. You can find me here in Joe M. Sontag, out and stuff on Wednesdays and Fridays. Joe M. Sontag across the board, social media. I do have the Reaper Destroyer Ash Can came in. This foil cover.
Nice.
Very nicely done. Very nicely done. So thank you to everybody who backed this. I'm going to be signing this and trying to get this out over the next week. But did a great job. Looks fantastic. Awesome inks by Joe Weems and Matt Bat Banning. And you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for the support. Blew me away by how much you guys jumped on that and the excitement you're showing for that book. So in April, we dropping the campaign in April. Hopefully the mailing list in sometime in January. Sean and I will work that out. We'll figure it out. All right, guys. Until next time, I don't know when I'm going to do another one of these shows, but I know Ott and Stuff has a show tomorrow night with Bric-a-Brac.
Yeah.
So join us there. I think it'll be 9 o'clock. And then everybody have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yeah.
And
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. I'm going to bed. So
right now,
I'm getting high.
Like
me too.
Right now.
It's nice. It's nice.
All right, everybody. Be safe out there. We'll talk to you all later. Peace.